What's up? What's up? Hey, Carl, what's up?
All right, welcome to Bombhole Group Chat episode 10, presented by Pub Beer, purveyors of cheap fun. On a dry spell, reach for some courage. Pub Beer, facilitator of cheap fun. For those who are unfamiliar, this show is a loose, round format table conversation about, did I fuck that up? Round table format conversation?
Table is a little square.
It's a trapezoid.
Similar to your spelling skills. Angles.
Okay, so the show is a loose trapezoid table format conversation. Most topics are submitted by our Patreon members and via Instagram. You guys send us topics. We talk about them. We talk about all things snowboarding. We are also going to talk natural selection. We got to check in with Stevie Bell. We're going to call Jill Perkins. We're going to call Jody Wachniak, talk about the Natty Select judging. We got some product talk. We got some recent videos that came out. We're going to break those things down. All kinds of good stuff. We're going to talk about Bombhole Cup. And today in studio, we got Nils Mindnich and Griffin Siebert. Fellas, how we doing? What's happening?
Tip of the tongue, teeth in the lips.
Just another day in the booth, brother.
Oh, yeah. Are you feeling comfortable, Griff? Boot pack show? You know?
It's been a minute. I'm a little rusty, but
Settling back in?
we're here. Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of remember that I'm glad I went my separate way and you took the reins.
Well, we also got Silk D in studio. What do you guys think about Silk's fit?
Yeah, what do we think?
I'm feeling
Be
those
honest.
shoes, to be honest.
Thank you.
I was
Great
kind of
back support.
glazing on your shoes.
Yeah.
I like the hat. I'm kind of
I went to a monster truck event, got this in person.
Gravedigger.
Shout out
I mean,
Gravedigger.
who didn't love watching Gravedigger?
Yeah, I mean,
growing
come
up,
on.
You know what I mean? Yeah, can't go
Smash
wrong.
a couple
Can't go wrong.
buggies or what?
Yeah, they got upside down.
They go backflip fakie on those things these
Yeah.
days. It's crazy.
I need to go check that out. I feel like the scene of just the people there seemed like
It was incredible.
Yeah.
People watching.
Yeah, there were a lot more kids than I was expecting. I didn't realize it's kind of geared towards kids.
The children.
The parents are incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grandies, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I love group chat. It's so fun talking snowboarding. We got all kinds of stuff to talk about. So
Yeah, we got some banter.
I'm
on our
with,
hands
you know,
today.
it's great. It's like I'm with some nerds today, you know, which is great. Some,
You with two nerds or three? Or
well, this guy, you know, well, I don't know if Griff's as much of a nerd, but I
so
noticed,
me and Nils
I mean,
are the two?
no, you're Silk D, dude. You're in your own. You're a fashion.
So you're with one nerd.
You're a fashion icon.
You're in your own metaverse, right?
Yeah.
But I
I do have
noticed-
the aerial angle.
You're wearing the Casio. That thing's kind of fresh. I would think it doesn't have a heart rate monitor.
Dude, that thing's gleaming.
Are you doing okay not having the data on your heart right now? Is that, are you doing all right?
Well, Chris, let me shoot it to you straight, buddy. It's a technical decision I had to make this morning. The cuffs on my flannel were too tight, and it interfered with my Garmin. So I said, fuck it. When I'm in the booth with the boys, I like to know what time it is. I'm putting on my dress watch. That's a good old Casio, tapping into my Jersey roots. Here we are.
Dude, I
Nils,
looking fresh.
You guys gotta make
are you measuring the circumference of your flannels so you know which watch to wear?
There's just one that's tighter than the rest.
Okay. All right, so you got it pretty easy.
You should actually see his Excel spreadsheet where each one of them is labeled, and he has shortcuts.
He has shortcuts
yeah.
and color coordination.
Yep,
I heard.
exactly.
If you had a little spandex so it stretches over, you know?
Yeah, that would
Yeah,
be
exactly.
fun.
We should make a bomb hole watch that's even bigger than the Garmin's.
That'd be good.
Just flex on people out
Like
there.
an
It's just
iPad on your
drop the watch on the table. Be like,
I like that.
this
Yeah,
thing's checking what's in my piss.
absolutely.
Heart rate and all that.
Yeah, we'll just plug right into the bloodstream. That's what we'll do.
Mainline it.
Well, and it'll intermittently give you HGH and human growth hormones and steroids. So it'll be true human optimization.
We're not going to tell you when, though.
Yep.
Not gonna tell you when.
You'll feel it.
Might as well just go ankle cuff.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. That's a good way to do it. All right, let's get into some snowboarding here. Everybody wants to know about natural selection. The live event just came out from Revelstoke. You had a great showing, Nils. How was it? Tell us about it.
Dude, thank you. It was a wild ride. The whole event, they essentially do two events. One's that qualifying live day, and then the other one is going to be coming out April 4th. It's kind of considered the like finals day. But all of that takes place within a week. So there's just a bunch of shit going on. It was up in Revelstoke, British Columbia, and just so many moving parts with that thing going on. Not only is there all the riding, but there's just like you have the whole production of it. There's the snow safety aspect of it. Like everybody's got their runs figured out because you've been looking at this face for a few days, and then you roll up morning of, and half of the terrain for the venue slid on like a little wind layer. So it's always dynamic. Things are always changing. Like I'm sure from a viewer's perspective, I bet one hiccup you guys experienced was the delayed broadcast. Like some of the satellites went down, and yeah, like that's also affecting the riders too. Like I was going during that period, and we had to chill for like an hour straight, just up at the top of the course.
What were you doing?
There was like a little warming tent, and I was just kind of high nerves the whole day, you know? And I just posted up, like listened to some music on my phone, walked a little bit, but I kind of just took
What songs we talking?
Dude, I was listening to like 90s hip hop, like Tribe Called Quest and Gangstar.
Wow.
And it just kind of gave me that like calm confidence that music has. I'm not typically like a 90s hip hop guy. I don't know if you would have known that, Chris.
Yeah. I thought like maybe an engineering podcast.
Yeah. You'd probably peg me for like Band of Horses or something.
Yes, exactly.
Bullshit like that.
Yep.
But anyways, yeah, I was just trying to listen to some music, play it cool, and had to show up for the second run. I had like a pretty crazy pairing with Mikkel. That guy's a Viking in his own right, so there was really nothing to lose. And I also think that's how like a bunch of people at the event felt. Like there was something about like a lot of the pairings this year that it was just like, ooh, would not want to have to compete against that guy. So it was rad because everybody sort of went all out, and I think there was a lot of sick riding that went down.
We got a Instagram question from the man who put on a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, the meat and potatoes behind natural selection. Liam Griffin messaged, and he said, ask Nils about his mustache battle with Mikkel.
Yeah, so
Kind of was a battle of the stash.
kind of a battle of the stashes.
Yours is more skinny, long.
Yeah.
These is like thick, shorter.
Exactly.
Nichols seems like a thick mustache.
He's
guy.
got a thick Norwegian mustache.
A bit of an intimidating stash.
Yeah, but also Mikkel's just like the nicest guy in the world. How the whole mustache thing came about is I think they were trying to like stir up some shit between the riders. Behind the scenes, there's sort of this like, you got anything to say to Mikkel? And I was like, not really. And then like same with Mikkel, like they were chirping him, trying to get him to talk some shit on me or something, just to get a little drama for the show, I think. And he was like, it's gonna be a mustache off. That's all he came up with. So that's the origins there. And yeah, what unfolded was a pretty freaking wild battle between him and I. We sort of rode the same parts of the face on each of our runs, like not completely dissimilar lines. And the guy's just like so good. I think sometimes at these events you could maybe like cross your fingers and hope that you'll get lucky in a way. But going against someone like Mikkel, it's like going against a T-Rice or whatever. You're like, they're gonna ride as good as you think they'll ride, you know? And that's kind of like what went down with him. So I felt like I just had nothing to lose. You know?
I have a question to ask. So in his first run, he went to that unridden zone. He launched the back three at the end.
Yeah.
Were you strapped in up top watching that?
Yeah, I was strapped in
So you had
watching
strategy?
it,
They
and
had
I
the screen.
Yeah, and they had the screen there too. Yeah, that was funny because I had kind of like saw. I mean, you kind of just figure out what everyone's lines are going to be going into it, and it's weird, but like I was kind of full tactics mode. Like I sort of knew he was going to be going over there, so I was like, it's new terrain. There's going to be fresh snow. I could do the craziest thing on the already ridden part of the face, and it just won't like have the same impression with the judging. Because like the judging's interesting. It's the timing of your run, in my opinion, I think makes a huge difference.
Absolutely.
Like if you do something psycho, then it's hard for the next rider to come and like you're trying to like, you know, top that impression that the other rider made on the judge. So in my mind, I was like, I also need to like find big mountain stuff, like something that's similar for them to also judge, if that makes sense. And like at that point in the day too, those guys have been watching the same run, and like Mikkel going to a new part of the venue, that had sort of been pretty gnarly, that like lower pillow line. I kind of knew that, I had to also try some like more free-ridey line to try complement that instead of going the more comfortable route of park style on the east face, west face.
What was up with that ravine gap? There wasn't a good angle of it, but did you jump over like a...
Dude, yeah.
'Cause I never really saw it. Did
On
you
the
see
Cab
it?
5?
No,
No, first run.
Run one, he dropped in
Dude.
as the only person to hit this gap over a ravine, but the drone angle you couldn't really see.
Yeah, you couldn't really see what was going on. Dude, so crazy thing, you like watch the footage and from the top, there's 2 jumps there. There's the ravine gap, and then right after it, there's another little jump that Beeman hit. And that was the plan, was to hit both of them. And then...
Too much sauce.
Dude, totally. And what happened was the face had slid earlier in the day when they did avalanche control, so no one had really ridden over there. And the lower layer that I was riding on going into it wasn't rock solid, but it definitely wasn't POW. Like you were sinking in a couple inches. I aired the ravine gap, didn't really know the speed, didn't want to deck it. And by the time I like super sketchy air, like go over and I just land back in the like avalanche like layer or whatever, like the ripped out layer. I didn't land in POW. So I instantly land and just start hauling ass into the woods and was like, oh God, like flew past. Yeah, I was like flew past
Rock,
2
stump.
features I wanted to hit. And I was like, just don't die.
Can we
and
put
then-
a little respect on the pre, when I was watching it, they would do like drone of the course and it was just a full like 2-foot crown.
Yeah.
And they would like go up it with the drone. You're like, maybe quick to the other cliff.
Yeah.
I was like, course looks beat the fuck up.
Yeah,
100%.
that whole face was so rugged. So, anyways, yeah, there was that ravine gap and then kind of like a lower cliff at the bottom. And even the lower cliff at the bottom, as soon as you land, you exit onto this panel where the whole avalanche had like deposited. So that was super set up. And you're straight lining it on just chunky snow, trying not to explode. And I was like, what am I doing right now? This is terrible.
Rodney Chunderfield.
Yeah.
Rodney Chunderfield.
The textbook Chunderfield
Seems
scenario.
like a tricky, that place seems like it normally has pretty good snowpack.
Yeah.
It seemed like a rogue year.
Dude, yeah, it was just BC historically is maybe the lowest snowpack they've had. There's, I think, some kind of record in that capacity. It was rough. It was super rough snowpack leading up to it. The fact that like it even looked how it did, I was extremely impressed. And also like, yeah, the whole venue I was super impressed by because I never rode Baldface, but Baldface just looks too steep to maybe
Personal experience, way too steep.
you to like it kind of do what would be sick. You just got to get through that course.
Yeah.
And then Jackson's rad, but it's a bit lower angle and was harder to like very freestyly. So this one kind of had that good blend that you could get
Yeah.
going fast, but there were features to hit that you could do tricks off of, but some of them you could only maybe do a 3 on. And
For sure.
the face is rad. They're actually like Dustin Craven led the build on the whole thing through the whole off season, so it was kind of rad getting to chat with him and just see how they had gone about building it and like where the features were. And apparently they're gonna continue to clear out the rest of the face, like connect the dots between the two kind of parts of it over next summer. So then if nothing, say it's there again next year and nothing slides, then there could potentially be 4 times as much terrain,
Holy smokes.
which is pretty sick.
Yeah.
What a great venue.
It seems like the perfect pitch because I was like,
It's money.
yeah, you
Yep.
need like you want to be friendly enough to try tricks. Where like last year's was savage. It looked like where
It
you're
looks just like
surviving.
scary. Yeah, everyone's just too scared.
And
to
then
ease
like
into
this
it.
one seemed like it had a good mix of like poppers mixed with pillow lines.
Yeah.
Did they
Yeah.
close that face?
Yeah.
Like the public isn't allowed?
Yeah, so it's out of bounds, but you can hike it. And I think that
How pissed are the locals?
Yeah, holy smokes.
Like,
imagine
imagine
that's
your
your
Well,
spot and
dude,
you can't
yeah.
ride it.
Here's the
I'd
thing,
be like,
though.
"Fuck you, I'm riding this shit."
The face, like, was just all trees previously. So the locals were also, from what I gathered, everyone was psyched. Like, a lot of people traversed out and hung out at the bottom of the venue, and you couldn't even see anything except, like, the lower cliff line. And you would get down from a cliff, and there'd be, like, 300 people just screaming freaking out that you're showing up off of your run, and even that I was like, this is dope because Jackson, like, he couldn't watch any of the event, and some of the freeride World Tour contests I did, there would be a crowd, and it's pretty dope when you got like the roar of a crowd.
The energy.
There's totally something to that because that rubs off on like the production crew, the riders, the riders who are obviously already taking the runs or about to take the runs. It just helps the whole vibe.
100%. Now, a lot of questions we had are in regards to your switch runs, both in duels, and then you rode your second run, you dropped in, rode switch, you did a switchback 7, which to me is like a very high risk move to do in a contest on a park jump, let alone in a powder. I would love to hear, where did you get the confidence to do a switchback 7 in your Natty Select run?
Yeah, dude. Thank you. Honestly, it's just, I've just been doing a shit ton of them. I've always, tried to be solid at spinning all 4 ways from a super early age. That's just like what made sense to me. Like, I didn't want to learn a 900 until I could do all 4 720s confidently. So it was not anything completely new, but it was maybe just this year leading up to NST, I was like, my strength is switch riding. It gets like scored well. I think if I do it enough, I can like comfortably navigate terrain and not look like I'm about to fall off a bowl, and that's sort of like what I really wanted to try to do is like, if I can do it and it doesn't look bad, maybe it even looks good, then that works really well for me. And the switchback 7s, honestly, I was just like riding switch at Brighton all preseason. I was just pretty intentful, I guess, like most days. And I was kind of like trying to, if anyone was riding with me, they'd be like, Nils kind of hucking right now. Like, I was just like, I wanted to normalize it. In my mind, I wanted like a switchback 7 and
Engineer.
I wanted a switchback 7 and a back 7 to feel like a switchback 3 and a back 3. I wanted 720s to feel like 360s. And I was just like, because you say that and you're like, yeah, totally. That like, you can get there, but it just was maybe a matter, and it still doesn't feel that easy, but it's just a matter of like, okay, I've done the switchback 7 enough. I know if I just pop, like just like snap off the lip, I can kind of get it around in most circumstances.
You popped it, and I was like, "Oh yeah." I had no hesitation as a viewer. Like, yeah, he's gonna fucking land that.
Yeah, my boys got my back as a viewer.
No, but it's like I've watched you. I mean, it's probably because I rode Brighton with you, but I've just seen you do that stuff. You're like, "Oh yeah, switchback 7 for Nils is like nothing."
Yeah,
and I think the way you ride switch, you're not losing
Link your
speed.
turns,
Yeah,
too.
you're keeping the flow going, which I feel like the judges go crazy for.
yeah,
But
totally.
then the damn cab 5 gotcha.
Dude, that's the thing. I had Jody. We'll see. It'll be funny to get Jody's 2 cents. We call him, man. Because
You landed it.
I landed it, and I kind of like, you see in the video, I get like brought forward. I like compressed because I didn't get it around. I had to like suck up my legs to get the rest of it around because I went small on the hit because going into it looked like a wall. It's just a lot of things going on, man.
Let's get Jody because he might have been one cab 5 away from a new snowmobile.
Let's just that's a good conversation.
That's
I
gonna
think
haunt
so.
you for a while.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna be with Sage
On
his new sled.
Yeah, I'm
You'll
gonna be on
"Damn,
my
if
I'm
I
gonna be
just
on my
landed that
old
cab
sled.
5."
I know. Gonna be carrying a grudge against the guy. If I landed my 540.
Yeah, what did you guys think of the judging? Like, most of the calls seemed pretty spot on, but there was only a couple that were a bit controversial.
The tie was a little crazy.
The red
a
Travis.
bit of a cop out.
Yeah, I'm
The other
curious what's up with the
ones-
tie. I think at that point they knew Travis's first run was just better and they wanted to move on with the day.
Oh, we got Jody Wachniak on the phone. Jody, can you hear us?
Oh, I can hear you, dog. What up?
Oh, yeah, you got Griffin Siebert, Silk D, and Nils Mindnich in studio for group chat. We were calling to catch up about how your judging experience was at Natural Selection.
Oh, man. It was peaks and valleys. Peaks and valleys. I mean, everyone saw that. Everybody saw it. You know what I mean? Like the third period there where we had some technical Wi-Fi issues or whatever. That was high stress for everybody. I don't know why people started just yelling at the judges like we had some different scenario going on. Like we all just went out for like a cocktail or something. It was high stress, man. just kept getting right before Red did his backflip. We just kept replaying that top little bit of the run, and yeah, it was not good. But I'm sure somebody lost their job. Maybe, I don't know, but I mean, they got to blame somebody for that. But all in all, it was a great time. Nils, you rode great job.
Who's diving on the sword for that? That's what I want to know.
I'll do it. They can fire me.
So I just I want to know, like, the contest is happening. There's all the runs, and then like we saw what essentially you guys saw. So you couldn't make a call until you saw everything.
You didn't have the FPV drone angle. You think the judges would have the better angle?
You would think, but sometimes your perception on reality is not true. I mean, yeah, it is important to watch somebody's run in its entirety to be able to judge it fairly. So yeah, that was the pause for Red and Travis's, and yeah, I mean that we had to wait. You know what I mean? I had to see my boy Red's run, and then I voted Team Red, and I lost anyway. You know what I mean? It's a democracy out there.
So there was a little bit of drama going on in the judges' booths, what you're telling us behind the scenes.
I mean, yeah, let's just fill you in, man. It's just not everybody has the same opinion on everything. And I mean, I'm all about, Travis, but the Spider-Man front five or whatever just wasn't my favorite move that he pulled off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. And I'll tell you this, watching the event, there was a couple of close calls where I was just like, take, for example, Mark, Mick, and Torstein. Like, I wouldn't want to be a judge for that.
No, I was in the same way. I was like, I don't know what's happening.
I don't know what the call is on that. So that one, I'm sure, was challenging as well.
There was definitely some challenging calls. That one was really close, too, because, I mean, you got Mark, the cab 5 that Mark did at the top was arguably one of the best jump moves of the day, like pop, tweak, stomp. Double wildy was a little bit of a bobble, but then you got that dope triple kind of stack at the bottom. And then you had Tor with the nice back 7. If I remember correctly, he did a butter and then he landed on his face. So that's not always the best. Yeah, but it was close, and I love both of them. I mean, it was wild. I mean, it's definitely one of those things. Growing up as a kid from Winnipeg, when you're judging T. Ricky dropping in, you're like, how did I get this job? You're like, I literally still do switch-ups all the time, and I'm like, how am I judging natural selection? So, yeah, I don't know, man. It's the wild, wild west out there, and all in all the judges killed it. You know what I mean? Everyone's there with a different opinion, and sometimes I don't agree with them, but whatever.
See, I have confidence that you're in that circle, personally, compared to like
sweet. Thanks for putting me in the circle, dude. You're in the circle too, Griff.
Hey, I don't want to be in that circle
right now.
Let's get Griff judging up there next too.
I think
might be a job opening next year.
One thing to think about too is like
my vision's too bad.
Judging is a thankless job in the sense that like if you get it right, nobody gives a shit. You're forgotten and whatever. But like, and it's also subjective. So and there's also emotional biases. Like we're all, we all have our brackets going. We have a little bomb hole office tournament going, and we all have our bias picks, and we want our people that we pick that we are financially invested in to go on. And so there's layers to
like brands,
Yeah. So did you get some anybody coming at you sideways for any of the calls?
Oh, my inbox definitely. I wouldn't say it was flooded, but it was definitely, you could say, bombarded with disappointed fans. I'm imagining now with sports betting, sports betting being on the rise, people are mad because maybe they over leveraged themselves, similar to like a cryptocurrency situation. You know what I mean?
You might need to change your name. You should have like an alter judge ego.
Yeah, that's what I was actually just gonna say. I feel like you're more known within like the audience and whatever community as like a judge. Like I'm familiar with all the other judges for sure, but maybe you're one of the more like easy characters.
The heat.
Yeah, easy characters for someone that is following this to be like, oh, oh, Jody's a judge? Oh, I know that guy. I'm going to chirp Jody.
Jody will be our punching bag.
Yeah.
You should
Yeah,
change
totally.
it to like Rod Dangerfield or something. Be like, damn, he posted up a tie. Fucking Rod, what the hell?
Yeah, right. The tie was crazy. I think that might have been a technical, an issue there. But I don't want to speak for the head judge, Connor, who absolutely killed it. But I think that was supposed to be typed in differently, and Travis was supposed to take the clean win by 0.25, if my memory serves me correct. And now that I take like reishi and shaga in the morning, I'm probably correct. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
question is, where are these numbers coming from? It's kind of
a
sounding
good
like
question.
someone's tax miles. You're like, oh, yeah, I drove 18,000 miles. That'll be $12,000 off my taxes.
Hey, let's get a group. Hey, let's get a group vote right now where I think that they shouldn't even have like scores out of 100, and it should just be like you just vote for like the rider. You know what I mean? And there's no number tied to it because
What about
man,
the
these
tiebreaker?
riders, the
Like
day,
a
I missed the
democracy.
tiebreaker,
But you
honestly.
need, but the tiebreaker is the high score, right?
But this one, no, I think what you're suggesting is almost like how the like Congress and Senate works. Like you have like a majority vote from the judges or something like that. So
Yeah.
are you saying
I
like
think
instead
it's
of
less of
100?
a bruise for the rider.
I feel that too because I'm
You know, like
confused where
Nils
the
wins.
numbers
That's it.
are coming from.
It's like, oh yeah, that guy got 90 and you got 38, and you go home at the end of the day and you're like, I got 38. Like it's just like, where if you just lose, you just lose.
Well, that makes sense too, because all the riders in natural selection are just like normal humans. You don't have like, it's not an Olympic event, so there's not coaches. Because like, I have so much sympathy for the judges at like an Olympic event or a World Cup, because all of the teams from every country, the coaches are like, why did my rider get a 75.2? Can you explain exactly where your score came from and break it down for me? Where let's be
have a
honest,
rule book,
Natty
don't
Select ain't like that, which is beautiful, a beautiful thing.
yeah. They have a rule book. Don't they,
Yeah,
for, like,
I think
soap
that
style?
maybe some riders are definitely curious to know about their scores more in detail. Actually, you can tell which riders come from like a slope style or contest background, because they are the ones that are often like shooting the head judge like a text like, hey, can we have a meeting about my score? I'm like, damn, like shit.
Dude.
Like I'm a video part background, dude. I don't know what's going on. There's apparently like rules and all this shit. And I'm like, I don't know. Like I don't follow any of it, to be honest.
I would say, I would also chime in and say too, like my impression as a rider is that the numbers are just like a general guideline, and that my impression is like all like, I just look at what number's bigger and smaller, and that's what I take away from it. And as a rider, I'm less hung up on whether it's like 6 points or 8 points, because there's just like a better run and a worse run. And then the numbers kind of get like tagged along with that as well. It's like I don't know. It's not that it's part of the show, but I guess it's just part of the show because people like scores.
Totally. How many years do you
How
think we
do you-
got some angry parents up there?
Yeah,
Got
that's
some
true.
young
Oh, yeah, some
phenoms.
NS teen dads.
Ooh,
Yeah.
good
Yeah,
question.
you got like a 19-year-old kid up there with his dad just fucking yelling at the judges.
Could happen.
I mean,
He's making
Bigger
a kid-
Dare was up there with like a sports psychologist. So I mean, like, you know, which I kind of like that, like a sports psychologist. Like, I don't know, maybe
Damn,
that's
really?
crazy.
I'm
Yeah.
backing it, whatever it takes.
Exactly.
I'm kind of backing it.
I feel like I'm up there on my own, just like going for the
Oh, Nils, you got enough talent. You're annoying.
Well, I'll tell you, whatever Big Air Jared
Switch
did,
back 7 into a bombed out landing, you psychopath. That was nuts.
Everybody was thinking it. I just had to do it.
nobody was
Our one
thinking it.
question for you, Jody, is: do you think Nils is one cab 5 away from a free snowmobile?
Let's just say if he didn't do the Plinko ping pong ball through the gut, he would probably be sitting on a new Skidoo.
Fuck.
And they're not
That's gonna
giving
itch
away
when it
hand
dries.
grenade Polarises either.
That's gonna itch when it dries. Yeah. What does Kurt Dog think about this Ski-Doo?
Yeah, I
The
mean, that,
Ski-Doo.
Hey, everybody knows nobody would buy a Polaris unless they're getting a deal. So,
I don't know shit about snowmobiles, but I think I'm with Team Kurt Dog, just to switch it up.
Griff's going Polaris.
Yeah, I'm going Polaris.
he always goes against the grain.
Yeah. Goes against the grain.
In the words of Craig,
I've only seen Polarises explode, and like by explode, I mean like shoot out shrapnel of metal from the machine. I've never seen Skidoos do that because they're absolutely amazing. So that's just my opinion.
It's got the word ski in it, though.
Ski-Doo.
Yeah, they got plural skis right in the front. They work great.
So you're opting for the one that has poo in it?
I'll go poo over ski any day.
Do over poo. That's how we do it. All right, Jody, it's been a blast chatting with you. Thanks for catching up.
Yeah, great riding, Nils. And you're kind of one of those annoying people that rides better switch than regular. So I'm just gonna say that you rode that all right. That was a natural back seven, not switch.
That's a nice backhanded compliment there.
Got a little annoying
Nils,
there
you're one
at
of
the
those
end,
piece
Nils.
of shits that's really good at switch.
Listen here, you little shit.
It's better than if you're
God,
like,
you're good.
you know when people ride and they look like they're riding switch? And you're like, ooh, that's not a good.
Yeah, that's
not
the
a
worst
good
when you do a trick and somebody's like,
Damn, was that
was that switch?
Was that
You're like,
switch?
no, it's just really bad. Nope.
No, just
Okay.
I remember when a
Nah,
back
you
seven
killed
used to
it.
mean something.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Well, you guys have
Thanks,
fun
Jody.
out there.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Jody.
Have a great
Appreciate
day,
you.
everybody.
See ya.
Later.
Peace.
Jody.
Yeah.
Exploded bones? Have you had them? I have as well. You and I, we share this. What I'm going to suggest is that you take a look at Bubs Naturals. Use their collagen because it's epic in supporting bone rehab and joint support and just keeping you young. I'm an elder these days. That's what they look at me as. And if you want the bones proof, here's pre and here's aft the Bubs. So if you need more than that, I don't know what to tell you. But you should go to bubnaturals.com, promo code BOMBHOLE, and get yourself 20% off and try it for yourself. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised and on a path to dying young as late as possible.
All right, let's talk about some speakers. Let's talk about my favorite speakers. Let's talk TurtleBox. Now, TurtleBox delivers the best sounding, most durable, portable speakers available. The thing I love about these things, they're rugged. You can chuck them anywhere. They're good to go. Now, the TurtleBox Gen 2 portable speaker is 100% waterproof. That's an important factor when you're up in the mountains. It also boasts best-in-class audio quality with 20-plus hours of playtime. You can slap tunes for over 20 hours. As a plus, you can pair multiple TurtleBox speakers together at the same time to enjoy a true AB surround sound experience. Simply put, the TurtleBox is an extremely fun product designed for days at the mountain, on the water, in the backyard, and everywhere in between. These speakers bang. I got a TurtleBox. I love it. I think you guys will too. Check out the TurtleBox Gen 2 portable speaker now. Jody from the Airtime Podcast. Everybody, if you don't listen, check it out. Another great snowboard podcast representing the Great White North of Canada. He's over in Whistler. A lot of great guests over there.
Available where you get your podcasts.
Yeah. Just to think you could have had a brand new
One cap, five away.
Kind of knew that. Well, Jody actually, that's the first thing he said to me when I saw him that night. He was like,
remind you
he
failed.
just straight up yells at me. He's like, "Why'd you have to fall on that cap 5?" And I was like, I know what that probably means.
Yep, I like that. A couple other things with natural selection. Let's just talk. Griff, you watched the whole thing. Silk, we all watched it. Actually, Silk didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it.
He was. It was
Still
his,
haven't watched any of it.
It was his,
Still at
girlfriend-
the Monster
his
Gym.
fiance's birthday, so he has a good out.
birthday. She
Oh,
got Wednesdays off, so
Yeah.
I took Wednesday off.
So,
fair.
Excuse.
but from a consumer standpoint of watching the natural selection, like what's your takeaway from the first stop, the live event?
I'm all about the live. I think if it's not live, it doesn't have the same feeling to me. And I feel like the Jackson one and like the one last year and then this one, like while it's going, it's really exciting. At least for me watching it. I'm obviously a big fan of everyone, and you get to watch your friends rip. I also like, I'm watching it and I'm like, thank God I'm not them. That looks so stressful. But the one big thing for me that's obviously, this is probably like finals day, I don't know if this comes out. We won't talk.
We're not allowed to talk about
but I'm
finals.
just saying, even in the finals or in the contest, like when you move through the brackets, I know we were talking about this, Nils, driving to the mountain the other day, but it's like the more you ride, the harder you have to ride. And it's like you got to be getting tired. Like normally when you're shooting like POW, if you're filming, like you kind of go ham your first like few hits of the day. That's when the snow's the best. And then you kind of slowly start to chill, maybe like hit a slash, a little step down later, like something mellow. Where like this, it's just like go ham, keep ramping it up. The like course is maybe getting more jacked. Like, I don't know what's like the mentality going through that or for your experience.
Yeah, totally that, where you're like, and you can see it in the riders too. You can always see if you watch like past events, there'll be, and we can chat more about this when the time comes with finals and all that, but like even historically you notice that some of the heaviest runs go down first, and then as finals progress historically, things like start to tailor off, and that's straight up just like there's just fatigue. There's mental fatigue too, which I don't think you always think about. And then it's wild.
Totally.
The whole event, even like the qualifiers day is kind of wild, and there's like a delayed broadcast, and then oh shit, my like first run was okay, but then I really gotta amp it up to beat an 82 or something, you know, like. And it's not even, I don't think about the score. In my mind, I'm like, I need to do something that will make the judges feel more impressed or blown away than how they felt when Mikkel did that at that time under those circumstances in that moment. You know, I need to like top that feeling that they had, and then the numbers kind of follow, and it's just a placeholder.
Another thing to think about, we talked about, but I think it started at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. One where you guys were.
Yeah, probably right around
something around there.
Yeah.
And by the time you dropped in, it was like 4 or 5 o'clock or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
you'd been
End of the
waiting for
day.
5 hours. You
Oh,
know?
yeah.
So that's got to be mentally exhausting.
Dude, totally. You're just kind of like trying to stay distant, and then almost on a moment's notice or whatever your process is, like at the snap your fingers, click into I am about to ride the best I have ever ridden is like what your kind of mindset in a way needs to be. And maybe I don't know if it's that intense for everyone, but I think for a lot of us it's kind of that intense.
Gotta be. I mean, I get nervous for like bank slaloms. You know,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I can't imagine. I wouldn't straight up my body be numb, chest down. If I'm dropping into Natty Select, I would forget how to snowboard. hands
Your
down.
fly would be down. You'd have one foot unstrapped. You're like, yo, if you could.
Full vents open, Bob Holmes style. Snow's just pouring into the thighs.
Yeah, and I think from a consumer standpoint, like my analysis was, taking Jackson in years past, knowing the course was kind of similar in some ways. I remember we had a watch party at the office for Jackson, and the whole thing was like action packed the whole time. It felt like it was maybe half the length, and I don't know if there's more competitors or what the format was. And I will say this, like first I want to preface with saying that I think natural selection is so important for snowboarding. It's the pinnacle of backcountry freestyle. It's kind of the tip of the spear in terms of events, and I hope where snowboarding is going. And I think one of the things that I came into it with an intention when we watched it, like, okay, we're gonna like party this whole time, and we're gonna we ordered pizzas, and we had a bunch of people to the office to watch it. But it starts at 1 and it ends at like 6 p.m. or whatever. And by like hour 3 or 4, I was just like, and there was a lot of commercials. And what I realized is like, I think whatever it takes to pay the bills, there's astronomical build cost. Live, to host a live event in the remote backcountry is a logistical nightmare. I just think I just got to take a different mentality when I watch it, where it's like, we're going to be watching this for 6 hours. Let's just put it on in the background.
It's NASCAR.
Yeah, totally. It's not like a one Super Bowl game that lasts. You know.
But that's where I think the Jackson course was maybe the best. It was short enough where like they got through the whole contest in one day, and it kind of had that like, and you could keep hitting the features.
Yeah.
So then there was new combos and new stuff, and that seemed like the perfect venue, like just from me watching.
Yeah.
From like a logistic observer
I also
standpoint,
see where like, I mean, the coolest part is it's Travis. Like it's his dream. It's basically he's living out his dream.
Yeah,
Chris,
the
costume
most
change?
competitive backcountry rider.
But to take this crazy idea and then to like put it into reality, it's like you can't. You have so much respect for that. Like it's a wild thing
100%,
to bring
100%.
into reality for sure.
Yeah, I mean, no, I dude, what Travis is doing is incredible for the sport. And one thing I do have to comment on that elephant in the room. Like let's just, I mean, the beanie. The thing I love about the beanie helmet is
Let's
that
talk
you,
beanie helmet.
you can't even tell there's a helmet under it. That's the thing that I love about it. It's
didn't
virtually unnoticeable.
Yeah,
I was
like,
surprised
damn.
for a second. I thought, the rider wearing the beanie was going to be getting a boot.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have the correct,
I thought there was
PPE.
helmets required. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought there was helmets required, and then like I looked a little closer, and I was like, "Whoa, that's a helmet."
Yep.
So the helmet has a chin strap.
Yep. Exactly. That was the only thing that gave it away. That was the only thing that gave it away.
You look like the dude from Spaceballs, by the way.
Oh yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah, it's straight up like a Spaceballs prop. Where you're like
what is it, Lord Helmet or something?
Lord Helmet,
Lord Beanie Helmet.
Darth Helmet or something.
Have you guys seen the Founding Fathers photo that Sage and Jared?
Oh, I did. I have seen that. Yeah,
Sage and Jared.
Really good.
So good.
Yep, good stuff. All right, let's get into Nitro Turbo Takes.
Welcome to Nitro Turbo Takes.
Brought to you by Nitro Snowboards and Canoe Eliason.
Nitro Snowboards has been building snowboard products, boards, boots, and bindings for over 34 years, and has one simple mission: to inspire people to get out and go snowboarding and support their local and global community by supporting the shops, the organizations, and the people who are dedicating their lives to this. Snowboarding is what got us here, and giving back to snowboarding is what keeps us here. The deeper the layers, the better the cake. Just like the snowboarding community, this season Nitro is releasing a 2-part film project, Layers: The Unintentional Culture of Snowboarding, a full-length 80-minute documentary exploring the different layers of the snowboard community around the world.
All right, this is an all-play situation. What is your favorite granola bar to eat while snowboarding?
Oh, this guy's got a sponsorship obligation.
Yeah. I mean, the Kodiak Cake breakfast bars, you really just can't go wrong. They stay moist. They keep you filled up. You're not dealing with a bunch of crumbs. And there's a blueberry one that just has a little bit of extra sugar. I love it.
I will say I'm gonna get on Team Nils here. Kodiak Cakes, their breakfast bar bangs. Griff, what do you got?
I'm going Go Macro Bar. I kind of spread the shelf. This has been a lifelong dilemma.
Lifelong journey, dilemma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta because come springtime, you're pretty sick of your flavor. But now I've got it to the point where cherry sunrise, the lemon balm, Go Macros, they don't freeze.
Pro tip.
That's good to know.
Because I've one time fully cut my nose from a frozen Cliff Bar, trying
Yeah.
to bite it and then
damn.
scraped up. It looked like I dive into the pool and then hit my nose on the
Did you
bottom.
get medevaced out or?
actually got a really
Almost.
big settlement for that one.
Frozen Cliff Bars.
Yeah, frozen Cliff Bar settlement.
sense, yep.
Griff's been so relaxed ever since his frozen Cliff Bar settlement.
Yeah, Go Macro for sure.
All right, this next question's for Griff. What's your current favorite, splitboarding or solid boarding?
Solid boarding. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
tough one. It depends on the day, I would guess. I think I do feel better at the end of the day if I split board. I'll go split boarding.
Put your mic closer.
Mike's close, test us. Yeah, I would say split boarding. At the end of the day, even if you had a shitty day, you got some exercise, you went for a hike.
Yeah.
You saw some nature, you had some good conversations with the people you went, and you're feeling fit, you know?
Yeah. I feel like you call. I bet Grandy's is probably in the same boat.
Yeah,
The guy's just
yeah.
a fitness.
Yeah, look at him.
Pillar.
Athlete.
Pillar of fitness.
All right, Nils, how much practice did you put in to land that switchback 7 in your Revelstoke natural selection run?
I don't know how to measure it or what, but a lot. I don't think I did a switchback 7 every time I rode this winter, but not gonna lie, I was keeping track. In February, I had a checklist, a quota I was trying to hit. After the first week, I realized that I was way off, but I probably did like at least like 20 this year, which maybe doesn't sound like a lot, but then if you think about like you do 4 or 5 in one day, and that's only.
What's your land percentage on your practicing?
I don't know if I fell on any.
Okay. Yeah. 20 sounds very impressive now for 20 for 20.
That's a common.
That's a lot.
check for me.
There's a lot of park days in there too. I'm not sure I did a. I know I did one of my duels, and the rest of them might have all been park switchback 7s, but it was kind of just the like. If there's enough air, snap it, and yeah, I was landing pretty. I think all of them, which was good. But I'd say 20.
Damn.
We'll say 20. Yeah.
All right.
That's as high.
Chris, who had your favorite run at natural selection? One girl, one guy.
I mean, I'm just going to speak on the timing of it. You know, it was a long event. So by the time Nils went, I lost a bit of enthusiasm. I was still excited.
Makes 2 of us, buddy.
And so
you thought you were tired, Chris. Poor thing.
You don't know how hard it was for us. Trying. You have no idea. You will never know what it was like.
I had to
Nils.
make 2 meals.
Yeah, exactly. And, dude, we had like a giant pepperoni pizza. We were carb loaded. We were slow, dude. We were going slow. So
That does sound really hard.
It was challenging. So I'm gonna say that Sage's run, just because it was like the timing of it, and when he started creeping out to that thing at the end, you're like, what's he gonna do? I thought he was gonna do a straight air, bangs us over the head with the back 3. I obviously bet on him as well, so the financial aspect of that. And then Haley at the same time, I thought for women, Haley was riding really impressive and sure style. Like she just looks right on a snowboard, and I also was financially invested in her as well. So
There's a common pattern
theme.
here.
Yeah.
All right, next question's for Griff. What makes a good turn?
Ooh, I would say staying in front of the snow, so then you're not covering yourself. But I think just speed and confidence, and putting it on the right part of the slope. I guess
like
you don't want a toe turn
yeah.
where it should be a heel.
Yeah. It's got to
Okay.
be the right place.
Would
the
you
right
say
time.
this-
Timing's everything.
swimming pool landing would be a good place to do a toe turn.
I felt guilty about this the other day, and there was
What's going on? I don't know what's going on here. There's some.
We had to shoot some product stuff, and I was like, fuck, this is a good. I've done a turn here before, but swimming pool looked pretty good. There was an old lip. I let all the young kids go pick the jumps they wanted behind Brighton. I did ask these kids if they were going to hit it before I did a turn and a landing. And they said it's all good. So I smacked 2 toeies right in that fucking landing. So sorry for whoever wanted to hit that jump.
You don't have to worry about a snowmobile high mark at Brighton. You got to worry about
Griff's toe
doing
car.
a toe turn and you're landing and ruining your jump.
Zach and I actually did that to the battalion AM crew in Japan this year. They called us out afterwards. It was just a beautiful place to do some turns. We knocked out 2 turns. Great day. Saw the guys afterwards, and they were kind of throwing some shade at us. We're like, yo, that jumps.
I mean,
Not
a
as
wedge
sick as our
in Japan.
turn. Yeah, I was like,
turn for sure.
turn. I go turn.
All right, Nils. In your opinion, what is the best advice you could give someone for making riding POW easier or more fun?
Do it as much as you can at a ski resort. It would probably be a good place to start. I think a lot of people maybe get into like splitboarding and touring a little bit early. Mm-hmm. And you see some folks out there and how they're skiing and snowboarding and like incredible athletes on the way up. And it on paper is probably a good way that you think you'd get to snowboard more. But like at your best, you're doing 2-3 runs. Put down like 10 runs on a POW day at a resort. And like by the time it's chewed up, you're going to be pretty smoked. And you do that 100 times over a couple of years. And then you go to the backcountry splitboarding. Like the better you are, the more fun it is. That's maybe the easiest way to put it. Definitely. And the fastest way to get better, just like
repetition,
reps at a ski resort. Yeah.
Also setting your
like
board back.
Fun.
I think is like a simple.
I might have missed the question there. Yeah, maybe that was the correct. I think that's the correct answer.
Yeah, I'm gonna change it to that answer. Yeah, take that back.
They're both good answers. They're both good answers.
But that's a simple, I feel like, tip for someone that it'll just help your back leg.
Directional stance.
Ride.
2 inches.
Look at.
I mean, I go smack dab in the middle of the alternator. That thing's ready to float. Or you could buy an alternator and you're floating, no problem.
Okay.
Okay. Next question.
No,
Chris.
yeah, I would say an inch.
Cut.
Inch and a half. But if you're going switch like this guy, that's what I was going to ask you. Do you ride like a more twin
That's a good
board,
question.
or
Yeah.
do you? What's your scene on the board?
Historically, no, but this year, yes. I was on a twin board this year, set all the way back, and I think I had 2 more inches of nose than tail, but my angles are still 0, 15. It looks pretty mirrored, but I really do like when you kind of have that like dumped in shoulder when you're going switch, and it has that like fakey aesthetic to it. So this year I was on a twin board, and it definitely made it easier.
Do you like a board with like less taper on the side cut for going switch, or do you like a more twin like side cut, mellower, longer side cut?
This year, I would say my board had like a medium side cut, like a pretty mid-tier, not anything that aggressive or anything that drawn out like you might see in a park board. And I really liked it. So it was just a mid-tier side cut, and the contact points had like a larger radius. And they're kind of getting a bit more of a tech talk, but like from where the board transitioned to start rounding onto the nose, like where it might bite, you could say, on the tips of your board, those points were a bit more drawn out on the board I was riding in the past, and especially on like the carving boards, you can see they're really aggressive. So it kind of like buttered through the snow a little easier, and it made scrubbing and not getting locked into a carve a bit easier.
Totally. Because it's crazy because those side cuts are meant to like go not switch for the most part. A
lot of them.
Mountain boards.
Yeah, totally.
We're going to break down some powder board setup later in the show. We got a whole product. So let's, but this is actually supposed to be semi-rapid fire, just as a heads up for, all
We
good.
didn't
all
brief
good.
you on that.
Yeah, we didn't brief you on that, but
Okay,
we will
moving
talk more
forward.
product later in the show, so we can sink our teeth into that.
Felt
whole
fast to
conversation.
me. Was I not going fast?
You were providing great information. You were providing great information. I was fascinated by it. So
All right, Chris, while we're looking for a fast answer here, who would last longer in the backcountry alone, Nils or Griff?
Nils, simple answer. I'll elaborate quickly. I feel like Nils would turn into like a Jason Bourne. Like he would it would be like a Natty Select, like lock in. I think that like Griff would be great. He could eat a bunch of twigs and berries and shit, but he'd probably get baked and then get fucking mauled by a bear, and it would be like it's over. And then so I'm going like Mr. Tactical spreadsheet over here.
Okay, all right. Jason Bourne, classic. Okay, this question's for me. Who's got the most granola kit on today in the booth? This is a challenging one. Right now, I'm going to go Griff. But when Nils had the flannel on, it was Nils.
Okay. I'm just curious what's so granola about my kit.
It's more of the color palette going on between the beanie and like the fleece. The combination is giving. You might have some granola in your pocket.
I think Jeff at Autumn handed me this hat, and he's like, "I think you'll like this one."
I think it's working. It's working.
Yeah.
It looks great. It looks great.
It's a color palette. It's a color palette.
It's the color palette for me. Okay, Griff, what makes a good snowboard graphic?
Oh, I like a little humor in there, but that's my personal taste, and not so serious. I like anything hand drawn or hand painted elements.
I can get behind that. This is an all play. What do you like to ride now? Wider or narrower boards?
Wide.
Yeah, I've gone wider in my old age.
Yeah, I'm wide.
I think I've gone a bit wider as well.
All
I
right.
don't want to toe out.
No.
Yeah, I also have a 7.5. So every board
foot.
feels pretty fucking wide.
Ideal foot for
Carving,
riding
yeah.
any board you want, though.
Yeah, nice. No wonder you're so good at
He was
switch.
born to do that.
It's because he's got a 7.5 foot.
Yeah, exactly. That's all it
Yeah.
is. Yeah,
That's where talent comes
Don't tell
from.
that to Jody. He's gonna start marking me down.
Yeah.
Well, he's got a 7.5.
Okay, Nils, last street trip you went on, or have you ever gone on one?
I think I've gone on one, and it was for Snowboarder Mag's SFD in 2015. I went to Boston with Blake Paul.
Wow.
And we linked up with Max Worthington and Ted Borland, and our filmer John Ray, who was with us, got told after our first day that he needed to go to Europe to film POW, and Blake and I linked up with those guys to film rails. It's actually pretty fun.
Is this when Blake broke his hand on the bungee? One of only injuries.
No, I think it was the year after, because I remember he was saying like No bungee, no bungee, no bungee.
No bungee.
No bungee.
What up?
All right.
So it's P-Rod and I.
Let's not forget that Nils used to put a beat down on the double line at the Park City skate park handrail. So he's no stranger to the steel.
He also splitboarded at Rail Gardens too.
Yep.
Did he? Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for a little bit.
him lick the cat days.
Those are some, there's some dark times. I was skateboarding on steel. I was snowboarding on steel.
We all have skeletons in our closets.
All right, we got one more question. Last one, Griff. How would you suggest someone find and buy a new snowboard for next season?
Go to your local shop and find the right size, have someone help you, and pick a graphic that you like
With some humor in it.
with some humor. Better make you laugh, make you smile.
That's Nitro Turbo Takes.
Nice work. All right, we're going to take a break and talk about Woodward Park City. Now, we're 9 to 5ers here at the Bomb Hole. A lot of times after work, it's dark. You know what? Woodward's got you covered. They got lights. So you might see Silk D, when he gets done production, he's out there busting down the Woodward Park. So it's great setup. They got all the stuff for beginners. If you want to learn how to slide your first box, if you want to bunny slope and learn how to ride a snowboard for the first time, all the way up to great kickers. They got a super pipe at peak season, which is very rare. We're talking a lot about half pipes. They got a great half pipe. So be sure to check out Woodward Park City. One thing that I think is cool is I see a lot of the kids in there practicing into the foam pit, practicing their back sevens, and then they can go take it out to snow, which is really cool opportunity for kids to progress. They're all about progression. And they also have $40 lift tickets, which is unheard of in this day and age. So gotta respect them for that. You can pay $119 and get a month of unlimited outdoor riding. That's a great deal. So if you're looking for a fun place to bust down on your snowboard with some good friends, good people, be sure to check out Woodward Park City. All right, let's talk about Blackstrap. Now, I've been testing some of their products lately. They sent some stuff to the Bomb Hole. And let me tell you, they make some high-performance base layers, beanies, balaclavas, and more. Recently tried out the Blackstrap Summit base layers on a full day hiking around the backcountry. We were getting sweaty, it was cold, and I was really impressed. They're breathable, they're stretchy, they're quick drying. Good base layers are key for staying warm and comfortable in the mountains, and they are worth investing in. I wear base layers every time I go ride, so great base layers are absolutely crucial, and Blackstrap makes some really high quality ones, so check them out. Also, I was impressed with their balaclavas. As you know, I wear a helmet these days, new to that game, and I love the fit under the helmet. So if you're looking for a great under the helmet balaclava, be sure to check out bsbrand.com, and you can use promo code BOMBHOLE for 20% off your order. Again, that's bsbrand.com, promo code BOMBHOLE, 20% off your order. They also recently came on board to support Bomb Hole Cup, as well as our Woodward Dust Bomb Ride Day. So support brands that support snowboarding and check out bsbrand.com and use promo code BOMBHOLE for 20% off your order and get yourself looking fresh out there on the hill. Guys, we haven't done a smelling salt yet. I'm going to pop it
Oh,
up.
that's alarming.
here we go.
Alarming. Haven't done one yet.
Oh, yeah.
When's the last time you did one of these, Griff?
I've never.
What?
Last time I
What?
was here, there was no. These
That's a
weren't
good point.
thing.
Holy
shit.
Wow.
Welcome.
I'm garage
All right.
days.
Well, they are organic, grass-fed.
Yeah.
Griff,
Free range.
Grandy's also kind of over exaggerates it for the show. They're really not that bad. Don't be shy. You actually have to really whiff on it to feel much.
Yeah, that's true.
But they're nice. You get a little red.
They're pretty strong.
You pinch it? Is it broken?
Yeah, it's broken. I can see it.
That thing is
Yeah.
legit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm tearing up.
Okay,
This
so
one went
now-
straight up my left
Now I'm
nostril.
ready to
I
fucking
got
drop
rid of
my
my
into
brain.
Natty Select.
Yeah, that's what we need. We need these at
Oh,
the top
yeah.
of the course.
Maybe Trav's hitting these things before he's dropping it. That's where all the alpha energy is coming
I kind
from.
of like those.
Yeah. Trav's got it. We actually flow him a secret.
I wonder how many of
stash.
those riders are staying locked up before they're dropping into their runs. You know what I mean?
I don't know what that means.
Celibate, kind of fighter.
Oh, we're
approach.
talking about
retention.
sperm retention.
You think that makes a difference?
I
Would
actually
you do
got
that?
some
If you
beta.
guys went on a Natty Select course, would you take that approach?
No.
Retention?
I think I probably would
Yeah.
save it for like 2 days. Like I wouldn't maybe. You know what I'm saying?
I would go full release before. You don't want
You
any
would go-
extra baggage.
I'm releasing mid-run.
You'd go. And the drone's like, and Silk D is going into a tree well, and the branches seem to be shaking violently.
We've lost sight.
We've lost. Looks like there's a mayonnaise delivery truck that backed up under the tree.
He's flying out of it.
Before his air, that landing was bombed out. Now it looks clean.
We've talked about sperm retention on the show, but like the ultimate debunk is that Sage whacked off the night before the Olympics and won.
This is my whole. That was my whole theory. On
Yeah.
it. Whatever Sage did at the Olympics, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I think the thing with
proof it
fighting too,
works.
like you think of the sport as well. Fighting, you gotta be like just full angst, aggro fight. But snowboarding, there's so much like nuance that I'm already stressed enough. So I'm putting it, and I think it helps me to be relaxed, and most people to be relaxed.
You don't want to look too stiff out there.
No, no.
All right, we got some Instagram questions we're going to get into. First one, this is from BMAR1. Who is the stronger climber?
Nils, 100%.
Okay.
That's an easy one.
All right, next one. This is from Nate Patch. If you guys had the opportunity to share a bunk bed, who would go top bunk?
I'd probably
I like
go-
the top bunk.
You'd go top bunk. Okay, I would totally take bottom bunk.
Okay.
Easy.
Yeah,
I
easy.
like that. Probably don't want to be there the night before the Natty Select because it sounds like that thing's going to be a rockin'. Okay, so soft
Both
rock,
floors.
both floors. Soft rock wants to know is head to head the best format for natural selection? That's an interesting topic.
I think so.
It's the most brutal, but it's also the best for sure. It's just a better show because if it was just all 10 riders dropping, things would get lost in the mix. Every matchup now is like a final. Is how you can think.
Yeah,
about
and I
it.
like that you got to like progress. You're like a video game style, getting to the boss.
Yeah.
At the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's good stuff. This is a good one for Nils from Drift Products. Nils,
yeah.
tell us a few things about the natural selection that are impossible to understand without being there.
Impossible to understand without being there. I don't know, man. I don't know what people maybe don't know.
Like you can't see anything down the course before
That's
you
a
go.
good one.
Like
Yeah.
you're just at the top and it's blind.
Yeah, like you
How
straight
loud
up
is
don't.
the drone?
So you have two drones that are super loud. Like you don't hear that in the broadcast. They're just like, and like almost so loud you can't even hear the guy dropping you. Someone just drops you. It's not like you. I mean, you kind of go when you're ready, but it's like, all right, hey, we're 30 seconds out, and you're like, okay, fuck, like I gotta like be ready. And then yeah, probably figuring out your run. I don't think people understand like. And people might not understand how much work goes into trying to figure out your run. And you straight up are like, I'll look at photos and videos and try to like be able to close my eyes and like understand the pacing and like what tricks I'm going to do and everything. And everybody kind of takes that approach. But you really don't know the course and any like, this just goes for any like big mountain line. To look at a photo of it. And then if you're to look at it from the top, a lot's changed. So there's quite a bit of like on the fly things that you're doing to make sure you don't get lost and like stay on track. And to make that look confident and easy is really hard. Like
Takes experience.
doing tricks and landing tricks is hard. Even just getting down one of those runs and knowing where the fuck you're going the whole time is a skill in itself.
Oh yeah. How early do you guys get the video of it? Like the do they do like a drone?
Yeah, we got
course
some like a
preview?
few days before. We did a course, we walked up and you could look at everything from the side and we were able to like physically walk on the lips, which was cool because in Jackson we couldn't even walk out on any of the lips because there wasn't any new snow coming to reset it and it would look tracked out. But even like the actual drone footage that I think everyone referenced was not available until the night before the contest. And then everyone that made it to finals, like, there's no spoiler here. Like, I didn't look at any of the finals photos until the night before finals because I just like I couldn't handle that.
Did they change the venue or did they?
There was potential. They had a couple backup venues. There's like 3 that I think they could choose from, and they ended up going with option A.
Yeah, one thing that's not a spoiler too, because you obviously made finals too, is that you got back to your hotel late and then you woke up early. That'd be interesting to talk about.
Yeah, straight. So right. So I'm doing my run, and we're all, it's like, I would say I'm trying my best, and like that's pretty exhausting, mentally and physically. And I think I got back to the hotel room at it was like 6:45, and I was kind of freaking out in a way, or I was just like fully clicked in because I had to wake up at 5:30 in the morning.
The finals the next day.
For finals the next day, because he had to go out to like a helicopter and get heli bumped out and all these things. So I was like, damn, not only am I gonna try to get a full night of sleep, but I'm already tired. I haven't eaten. I have no clue what the face even looks like, and I like kind of feel a little wrecked. So
That's insane.
went full. I like changed as fast as I could. I made a like peanut butter jelly sandwich, filled up my water bottle, and was just full. You'll like this full efficiency mode. Went straight to the spin bike, spun for 20 minutes, looked at the photos.
This is morning. Of.
This is
Get the
night-
lactic acid.
This
out
is
of
like
there.
night out.
Yeah.
This is at like
Okay.
7:30 at night, and then did like stretching for another 20-30 minutes, and got into like a sauna that they had at the hotel for another 20 minutes. Called room service in the sauna to get dinner brought to my
I was
room.
about to say no Natty Select dinner.
Not a team dinner, but Revelstoke. I think it was on Revelstoke's part. Really hooked up all the riders. We were well accommodated. Our credentials got us food at a couple of the restaurants up there, and everyone was super well fed and taken care of. Like Revelstoke, the resort, and that whole scene. I thought for a lot of us is like the best I've ever been taken care of at a resort, which was cool.
What movie did you watch?
Before you'll like this. Before, I'm not an angsty guy, so I was just like, I straight up thought, what is Sage probably doing right now? Because he
That's exactly what would go through my head. Sage
Not
is watching
retention.
like Rambo or something in his room.
and Rambo's what came through my mind. So I looked before the first night of contest, I was like, Sage is probably watching something to get amped. I know how he works. And before the qualifiers day, I like wanted to find Inglourious Bastards. Couldn't get a copy, but there was Fury, the tank movie from
Great
World War
movie.
II with Brad Pitt.
Great movie.
Just like the full "We Got Nothing to Lose" movie, and it's like a 2-hour movie. So I watched the first half the first night, and then going into finals, I finished the movie. Watched the second
in
half.
the heli or what on your phone?
No, like on my computer.
Right
Like-
before dropping in, put his iPad in his pocket.
Yeah, no, like the night of the first contest. So I found out I made finals,
okay.
and I'm like stretching and eating room service and shit, and I'm watching Fury on my laptop. Like, you're the fucking man, dude. Like, nothing to lose or whatever. Like, what's Sage telling himself? I don't know. I'll say that to myself.
Good advice. That's a good technique. For some more Instagram questions, we got one from Bob Plum.
Oh, here we go.
We actually have a few. Never heard of him. But yeah, Bob Plum. Let's talk skin track vibes. Who's faster? Why is so much ego on the Skinner? Do you Strava? It's a 3-part question.
Wow.
Who's faster?
Griff by like an incredible
Griff's an
landslide.
animal. Griff's an
Yeah.
animal.
Long legs.
Long legs.
Long legs, just the build, the guy's stride. Like, I swear his like baseline heart rate's probably 40 BPM.
Do you
Built
Strava?
for distance. Don't know Strava. I don't know. Not good with strength. Not good with strength, but good with
From what
stride.
from what I've experienced, not much ego with Griff on the Skinner either, especially for the ego spectrum that is existing on
Skimo?
skin tracks.
Yeah.
Not going to name any sports, but Skimo.
My favorite is they walk next to me and then pass, or I'm like, you can just tell me to pull over. I'm like, you don't need to make it your own skin track.
G Biscuit, you got any advice for somebody that's going on a long tour? You're like, all right, I see that peak off in the distance. We're walking out there. We got our skins on. We got our granola in our pocket. We got our patchouli oil lathered up, and we're ready.
Muscles in a can.
What's that?
That's the secret for
Yeah.
a long one.
Mussels in a can?
Yeah, canned
Yeah.
muscles.
Provisions.
That's my move.
No way. Okay. What about like? I feel like the heart rate goes up, the heart rate goes down. You want to keep that thing regular.
Steady. I'm kind of like a spaz hiker, which I've been trying to work on. I need to go like slow and smooth. I would assume Jeremy Jones, all those people, they're always like, you don't want to stop, but you don't want to be going too fast. Where I'm kind of like, yeah, stop. Yeah, snack. Where like, I don't know, but I definitely bogged down a few times from being a spaz.
I swear when Griff first started, because we like started splitboarding and hiking and doing all that nerdy shit around the same time, probably
You
10
took
years
me
ago.
on my first splitboard tour.
Yeah. Griff got scared. You want to turn around.
I fell into a tree well, is what I remember. A few times.
But dude, he is so funny because I swear, more so then he would just take off sprinting for like 5 minutes and then he'd be like 100 feet in front of you and just dry heaving like, dude, man, this is fucked. And then a few years went by and like he just kept doing that and all of a sudden he could just start making it to the top at like a crazy pace and he wouldn't have to stop anymore. That's where I had last left off. I feel like when I'd been hiking with Griff.
I think I just zone out. I have like a daydream brain. And then I don't even realize, and I look around, no one's near me, and I'm like, "Fuck!" Just ditches, get away,
Dude, have you been mountain biking with him? He's a freak show on the climbs.
I on the up, slow on the down though.
Yeah. Slow on the fun part.
Yeah, exactly. I keep it safe.
All right, we got another interesting question. This is from MJ Murphy 0815. Why
name.
don't boarders ride snowbird more often?
Hook me up with a pass. I'll come shred.
kind of a Kurt Dog Polaris scenario, I think, for a lot of riders. I get up to the bird a little bit. I have a good time. I think I just got more homies that shred at Brighton, you know? But the bird, I swear the bird has always had just this like underground.
There's like a core group of
fringe.
shredders.
There's just always been like a fringe core scene at the bird with like from the 90s, you know, until today.
They're still
And
shredding.
There's still like
Tomich.
there's plenty. There's
Deadlung.
like there's Deadlung and Tomich and you know Bjorn's up there and people are definitely shredding. Why don't I make it up there as much? I feel like Little Cottonwood Canyon just gets a little bit crazier, and on POW days the bird is very well known for POW, so like everything kind of gets smacked.
The vibe's a little crazy on. I feel like at Brighton you can maybe wiggle your way into like sneakier zones where snowbirds the terrain's amazing, but it's kind of like right in your face. I'm sure there's tons of sneaky zones I don't know of, but it seems easier to keep riding POW every day or like every run at Brighton. Where like snowbird you kind of got to get it like quick.
Yeah, but I'll hit snowbird preseason just to like, and this kind of nerdy, just to get like in shape. You get like a couple
leg burners,
top to bottom
I love
tram
it.
laps, and like, oh, it's gorgeous. And then you know, in the springtime, there's Mineral Basin. Like they did Peace Park there last year, and it's all sunny. And I don't know if I have family in town.
The tram. It's like
I love if I can get them up to the bird. It's just a full experience, and you know, I think it'll. Everything has its ebbs and flows, and I'm sure the bird will have its shine. It's just a matter of time.
I think it does for the lokes that ride there.
And it does, for the looks
All right,
ride there.
We're going to get into a fun trivia section. Impromptu. Jules just barely came up with these questions. I asked her to do rock climbing trivia. So I'll ask the question, and whoever buzzes first gets a chance to answer.
If you buzz and get it wrong, it's a smelling salt.
Yes, that's the. So,
So there is a little bit at stake.
Oh, there's a lot at stake, fellas.
Let's put a
Well,
couple.
a little bit. It's a nice reward if you get it wrong. You know, the smelling salts are great.
I'm that weird kid that kind of likes the smell of chlorine at the pool when I was young. So
You just
it
get.
I was
kinda
getting
reminds
that
me-
vibe,
It
yeah.
reminds me. I'm like, oh, it's kind of nice.
I hear you. I feel like when I was a
Purposely-
kid, there was like basement mold and gasoline. Oh, love those.
I never was a gasoline guy, but I knew that's
I
a thing.
loved gasoline. Still do.
All right,
That explains
Here
it.
we go. Everybody focused. First question. What type of rock climbing involves ascending a vertical rock face with the use of a rope? 5, 4.
Nils, yes.
Use of a rope. That would be aid, sport, or trad climbing.
Sport climbing.
Okay.
I think that's
Yeah,
acceptable.
they're all use a rope.
we'll take it. Jules did the questions. Take it up with her.
What is the name of the knot often used to connect two rope ends together?
Is it the European death knot?
Nope.
That is one though.
That is one.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Can we get like a review, like basketball?
No.
I like the buzzer too long. There is
sorry.
a specific name here. This
Let
is-
me see what names on there.
Nils, yes.
Oh God. For two ends of a rope together.
Yep.
I've done like a double fisherman.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
God, I was about to say figure eight. European death knot is
Technically legit.
I don't know enough about climbing.
That's what
to
I've
say,
done.
but it's not on
It's
the
not
paper.
what we're looking for
It's not on the
today.
piece of paper.
is it a single fisherman? Is
All
that what
right,
a
let's
European
keep it
death knot
moving
is?
here. What is the term used for the process of cleaning the climbing holds on a bouldering problem? 5, 4.
I'll try it.
3.
Nils.
Cleaning the holes on a bouldering rock climbing problem. Brushing.
That's correct.
It could have been a lot.
I'm scared after that.
I'm throwing some Hail Marys.
Let's preface. I haven't climbed since like November, December. So
Respect.
I'm a little.
I literally
rusty.
went
I love
climbing
that.
yesterday.
I hate that. I hate that. I hate that for you.
and the day before that.
What is the term for a rock climbing technique that involved using the feet to transfer weight and maintain balance?
Flagging. Dude.
I would back up. Okay. All right. Let me try one. Transferring the weight to maintain balance.
Yes. It's a big repeat the
Hold
question
on.
guy.
Yeah, hold on.
yeah,
Can you
yeah.
run it
He's
back
he's
one more time?
processing.
See, this is you can't buzz and then ask the question again. This is bullshit.
Okay.
That-
Slab
what-
climbing.
Hit a salt.
Edging. Hit a salt.
Edging.
Edging.
That's
Okay.
a sage situation.
Yeah, it's a stage before Natty Select scenario. What is the term for the highest point on a rock climbing route? Let me read this better. What is the term for the highest point on a rock climbing route that the climber can touch without reaching the top?
Nils.
Summit.
High points. The right answer. All right, let's keep it going here.
Wrong.
What type of
where
climbing
these come
shoes?
Just going to the next one.
What type of climbing shoes offer the most sensitivity and allow the climber to feel the rock or holds? 5, 4, 3.
Nils.
Bare feet.
Neutral shoes.
Neutral.
Which rock? Look, I'm sure Jules Googled rock climbing trivia. This is what came up.
This is great.
Which rock climbing technique involves pulling a handhold while simultaneously pushing down a foothold?
Pulling a handhold.
Dude, I'm tearing, Griff. You gotta take this one.
Griff.
Pulling a handhold while simultaneously pushing a.
Mantle?
It's a fucking opposition, guys. Put it together. Opposition? That's what the
Wrong.
paper says.
How many more of these do we have?
We'll do
Oh
3
my
more. We'll do
God.
3 more. Which of these rock formations is typically found in the famous Yosemite National Park?
Griff.
Be a granite.
That's
dome.
correct. Granite's correct.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Good job. Good job.
Granite. We're looking for granite. Yes.
It was a 3-part question, but you buzzed before. Anyway, we'll keep going. What's
Okay,
the name
correct.
of the hanging loop or rope or webbing that creates a temporary anchor point for a climber? Temporary hanging loop or rope.
Nils.
Sling.
Runner. It's a runner.
Runner. I need more salt.
Okay, what year was sport climbing introduced as an Olympic sport?
Griff.
2022.
Hang on, I can't get
Or
to the
no,
buzzer.
sorry, 20. Yeah, 2020.
Can't get to the buzzer.
2020.
Well,
All
they
right.
delayed it a year. So it's 2021, actually.
Okay, this is
in Tokyo.
all right. This is the last question.
Gianna Gorbet, I think, won for women.
What type of rock is typically favored by climbers due to its rough texture and positive holds?
Nils.
Limestone.
What the fuck? Even though it's
Bullshit!
it's a subjective question, you're still wrong. What do you got?
Throw me a
It said because of the texture.
Rough texture and positive holds.
I'm going granite again.
Correct answer, sandstone, according to this.
Sandstone.
Man, that was a disaster.
Obvious.
That was a disaster.
Congratulations, Nils. You won. 3-1.
Wow, that was a complete disaster. Okay.
It's called Climestone.
Funny because
bro.
I hate climbing granite. I don't know why I even answered that.
Really doubled down on the granite.
The rough texture kind of got both of us. I
Yeah.
wasn't thinking sandstone.
Positive holds.
Classic positive hold scenario. All
All right,
right.
a solid jug. It's my
We,
favorite hold.
Yeah.
We
What's
caught
your
a-
favorite hold, Chris?
Oh man, there's just so many types of rock
hard
going
to pick
through my
one.
mind that I love.
This is the part of the show where Chris says, "Now that we've lost everyone that's listening," and then he moves on to snowboarding.
Yes.
Yep.
So I'm going to do that. I'm not going to stay in this
Now
space
that
any longer.
nobody's listening anymore. Next topic.
I will never go rock climbing because I love making fun of it so much that if I go climbing, that's taken from me. Because what if I like it? What if I like it?
Same thing with splitboarding.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that's what happened. Exactly. That's what happened. Okay, we're going to catch up with Stevie Bell. He came in studio earlier today. Let's catch up with him. Okay, we're here with Stevie Bell. Just got back from Tahoe for a TDI event. That looked like a good time, Stevie. How was that?
It was absolutely amazing, man. Like, I love going to Tahoe. I've been going to Tahoe for a long time, but it was sick to ride with the whole crew, especially like, not to age date you and I, but when I was snowboarding, it was like I was the only black man, like literally on the mountain, and to like have a crew of like 15, 20 shreds that are like insanely good was just like a monumental moment for me.
That's amazing. And so what is TDI for people that don't know?
So TDI is technically doing it, and basically it's just, like we're not supposed to be here, but we are here, and, not taking over the industry, but like submerging ourselves in the industry with like really high quality black snowboarders, which is really rad. And it's just the name of our crew, man. It's like there's so much talent on our crew. It's just cool to see, man. But technically doing is basically just the name of our crew and what we're doing. So we're also filming for a 2-year project with Lou. So that'll be rad too, coming out next year.
Yeah, shout outs Lou. He's got such good energy. Love that dude. Now, what's the vibe too? Because snowboarding is obviously like primarily white boy sport, and then when you guys show up, is everybody looking at you? Like, you guys have a whole vibe? What's the vibe at Boreal when you guys were showing up?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously have a vibe. We always have this massive speaker that we're slapping. Like, it's so fun, music blaring, and just vibing, dancing, having fun. And obviously when there's like 15 of us, we're obviously getting looks. And people are like, some people look at us like we're crazy, but it's funny. You'll see so many people like join in when we're dancing or doing something fun to like want to get in the gondola with us. So we get a mixed vibe, some people who like it and some people who don't like it at all.
I love that. I saw the après vibes look like they were going off. Everybody was dancing and having a good time. Who was MVP at the TDI trip you guys just did? Who was killing it?
As far as snowboarding or dancing goes?
Let's just say both, on and off hill, combined.
I'd have to split it because I'd say Rob and Irie on the snowboarding part, and it's hard to say actually because Yannick killed it, Irie killed it, everybody killed it. But the dance vibes, I got to give it to Lou. Lou crushed that.
Yeah.
We put a good video up of Lou, like, walking and doing his thing, bro, and he crushed that.
I saw that, but I also saw just a random white dude getting in there, too. Did you?
Yeah, and that dude, like, I mean, he had to be on some drugs, bro, because he literally, like, from the moment we came down the hill to get down there, like, and like, sit on the patio, he was dancing, sweating, and he did not stop dancing when I left. I looked back, and he was still dancing.
Nice.
He came to the table one time, and I was just looking at him, I'm like, bro, whatever you're on, you need to share that shit.
Yeah, just a little bit of
just kidding, no drugs.
après Molly vibes at Boreal.
Totally.
I love that. That's good stuff. Now, it's almost moto season, Stevie. How you feeling? You ready?
I'm feeling good, man. I've just training to get on that bike.
Honda 450. For the listeners that don't know, Stevie grew up racing dirt bikes. He is fast. He's elite on a dirt bike, and we get out there and battle all summer long.
Oh yeah, we have good times, man. I can't wait to get out there with you and like Bjorn and some of the other crew. It's gonna be a good summer.
Should be a good time. Also, Stevie, let's catch up, and I want to know what you've been up to this winter. Have you been filming any stuff in the streets or backcountry?
I've been filming a lot, just like riding the park with the homies, just putting out those good vibe edits. That's not the name of them, just saying good vibes. And then I did film one street clip for the first time in like 7 years. The one I jumped over the goalpost. And it's funny because I called Shane and I had to call my homie Rob, like, hey, come help me, get this shot. And then my homie Austin comes shoot photos. And we go there and I had to like undo the fence at the high school and set it up and then sneak the winch in there. And Rob left his board sitting over behind the bleachers. So I'm hitting the thing, I get my shot. I'm like, okay, Rob, go get your board. Let's it's your turn. He goes back there and somebody came behind a bike and jacked his snowboard. So we're still in the hunt for that guy. But yeah, that was the only thing I've really filmed. And I did get one backcountry clip in Tahoe outside of Sugar Bowl. We went hiking and got one clip there. So not as much as I'd like to, but we're getting back in the swing of things.
Dude, I got to say, Stevie, you still got it. We've been riding, when I see you at Woodward, switch back five, putting together jump lines. Like the jump tricks are locked in right now.
Thanks, man. It took me a little while to get in the swing of things, I've got some of my basic tricks, but it just feels good to get back on my snowboard and ride, man. And it's so fun vibing with you and everybody else at Woodward. It's kind of makes me want to ride harder just because you see all the homies out there still killing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, your tricks are locked in. Are you going to bring them to Bomb Hole Cup April 6th and 7th? That's the question.
Yes, I'm going to bring the tricks.
Okay, and now how old are you?
I'm 38.
30. You know what's great, though? This 40-plus Pro X Pro class is something for us to look forward to because there's the young bloodthirsty hyenas that are going ape shit out there. But for us, like a little bit, veteran guys to compete against, guys that are over 40 and just kind of show up and try as hard as we can, but actually have a chance at winning something sounds really fun. So this year, the 40 plus pro class is going to be fun to watch both in the race and in the park showdown, and we have something to look forward to. But you're going to have to be with the bloodthirsty animals in the actual pro class.
I was just gonna say I don't want nothing to do with that class. I literally don't want anything to do with that class because even just like riding with the homies like at Woodward, you just see the level of snowboarding. And I'm just like, I'm so glad I didn't have to compete with these kids when I was younger. Like it's insane. So looking forward to a couple years being in the 40 plus class because I feel like I might be able to like maybe place there. But as of right now, I'm just there for the fun.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, you show up,
smoked.
You do a back five on the jump, people are hyped. You do a nose press on the rail, everybody's hyped. It's more just get in the mix, ride with everybody, put down a time. Racing, now let's talk about the bank slalom. Are you going to take a moto approach? Do you have any moto fundamentals you're going to apply to the bank slalom?
Actually, in Tahoe, they had a really sick bank slalom course at Palisades, and I was putting in some laps there, getting those legs warmed up. I just got to figure out the corners. I'm used to be able to, slide in on the brake, hit the gas, but you can't do that on a snowboard.
No, yeah, suspension is your legs.
yeah, exactly.
So you can't adjust the clickers,
Yeah.
and these things are stiff, and they need some new fork oil in them, but we don't have the option.
Yeah, I wish I could just send my legs to Mitch Payton and have him set up for this race, but it's not going to happen. So we'll see. I'll wing it when I get there and see how it goes.
Perfect. Well, thanks for catching up with us, Stevie. Appreciate it. We're going to get back to it, but thanks for coming in studio. It's always a pleasure.
Absolutely, big dog. Thanks for having me.
All right, the good times are stacking up with the 24-25 Ikon Pass on sale starting March 14th. Drop in on 50-plus destinations, spring's lowest prices, plus limited time savings on child passes and renewal discounts. Pro tip: buy now, ride now with immediate access up to 9 mountains and a total of up to 16 by early April. From $259 adult, claim your pass of the good times today.
All right, that was a great chat with Stevie. Always good vibes in the booth. Now, Griff, what's been going on with you? Everybody knows that you're a snowboarder, but you've been doing a bunch of work behind the scenes over at Nitro in your graphic design career. What you been getting into, broski?
Yeah, I've been stoked that they let me do it. It's been almost like 5 or 6 years now, but it's me, the art director Paul Brown's here in Salt Lake, and then we have one more designer, Jesse Williams, that lives up in Canada, and we basically, along with like art collabers, are responsible for the entire graphic line. Or the snowboards.
No, that's what I was going to ask. Are you doing bindings or anything else, or like T-shirts, or mainly just board graphics?
A little bit of like binding stuff if they need to match the snowboard, but mostly just snowboards. Paul and I are snowboards, and Jesse's kind of more on the binding side.
Now, a lot of people are talking about that alternator, the new graphic. I love it. I thought it was one of my favorite graphics of the year. It's like red spark plug base, and you drew that thing, right?
Yeah, I drew it. I gotta give Big Air Jer a lot of credit on that one. It was kind of like he wanted a vintage motocross rider on there, and then just kind of took his ideas. He drew some of he drew the flame and like parts of the graphic, and then we like combined and found an old dope photo. Yeah, it came out pretty cool. People seem to like it.
Cool. Spark plug's so dope. That's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's an interesting thing in the world of snowboards. I we talk about this, but a lot of times you see the company name, whether it's Nitro or Solomon or Rome, it's like just says it like big on the base, and that's like that. It's just a big billboard for whatever font you want to use. But I'm in the school of yours where I enjoy like a skateboard type graphic where it's just something interesting on the bottom of the snowboard. Why do you think brands are so into just like their name as a billboard on the bottom?
I think it's tricky when it comes like a snowboard compared to a skate graphic. Like a skateboard's only nowadays it's expensive, but it's like $50 and you're gonna scratch it off. So there's more room for like a funny or like crazy graphic that's like, haha, you laugh at it, grip it up, graphics gone in like 2 board slides. Where a snowboard is definitely like, okay, they're like $500 to $800. Like it's more of a purchase. So I think it's like, you really got to want to like what it looks like. It's like something you saved your money up for and you're buying. You don't want something that's just like, if it's too humorous, like I think it's more just for like the consumer. It's got to be able to sell to a broad demographic, and I think that's like the tricky part, or like that's the thing I'm always thinking about when I'm making graphics. Is like, okay, what is this board? What is this customer? What is Nitro's like plan with this model? And I think that's been the biggest challenge for me is I would say I have like a shitty paint style that I like to do on my free time, but like trying to like turn that off and then kind of making like a graphic that's doesn't look like my style. I'll get stoked when I make something that's like completely different. Where it does, it's this fun process where it kind of like keeps me learning new things. I didn't go to school for graphic design, so it's like all kind of trial and error. And luckily I've had Paul to like ask him any questions. He's like a guru and all that. So yeah, I don't know. That's like, I think it's the cost difference, I would say.
I always remember being at sales meetings, and it was an interesting thing because there's like these layers to when the snowboard finds the consumer. And you know, shout out to sales reps because they're the ones that are really like going around to every shop and, you know, here's the new line, check out these boards. They're the ones that are really like selling it to everywhere from like a bike ski shop to a core snowboard shop to a big box Evo to like this huge kind of wide array of customers like you're talking about. And I remember there was kind of always almost a battle between the riders who would want a skateboard graphic looking thing and then the sales reps who would want something that they could sell to everybody. Do you ever come up with graphics and then they get pushed back by the sales team?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, push back there's so many ideas that just go nowhere. But I think the big thing is, like, what people don't realize is we're making graphics. Like, right now, we're like 2/3 of the way done with the 2026 line. So we're like 2 or 3 years in the future, which is tricky because you got to, like, kind of guess the trends. And I think the hard part is, like, you got to take the sales advice, but then you got to also go at it with a designer brain where, like, you can't go on, like, impulsive what sells well then because in 2 years that might not be hip or what's in. So it's, like, kind of trying to, like, just try something new. And for me, I've always been obsessed with board graphics since I was a kid. I think now it's funny, I watch a snowboard video and I basically, don't even, nowadays I'm looking at the graphic more than the trick. I'm like, damn, that's a sick graphic. Because like, and especially when I go up to the hill, I'll see all the new boards and some I like or like, oh, well, they did that. Cool. Like, nice job on that. But I think the one thing is, just trying to like, in your line, have a broad array of boards. Like you have that skate core graphic or you have that board model that's for that customer, but then you also have that board that's like clean and simple and like for the person who just wants that board or that'll be easy to sell in like a REI or like what you're saying, like a big box store.
Now, let me ask you this. When you hang up a snowboard, do you hang it top sheet up or base up if you're going to hang it on the wall?
I've always gone top sheet up. Which is funny because the base graphic's the most important, like for filming and everything. It's the most seen part of the board. But yeah, I'd say top sheet, depending on the board though.
Yeah, and for pulling inspiration, where like if you're to think of iconic graphics, do you have any that come to mind where you're like, oh, this one really is timeless. These graphics are timeless. Do you have any standouts from?
I mean, it's like all the classics, like the Hawkins sword is a big one. I think for me growing up, I always loved the Danny Cass canoe boards, like with the speech bubble and all that. Those were like huge for me. Other big one would be like the Justin Benny Nitro board. And I actually bring this argument a lot to Nitro where I'm like, okay, that board was like with the cop on the bottom. It's like so iconic and it was so probably like, whoa, at first, where that's where I feel like you made a good graphic when people are like, oh, I don't know. But then it kind of like grows on you. And then that's the one you remember because if you make them simple and like clean, they kind of get lost over time. So it's like those ones that like have that space and time. And it kind of is this cool marker for me of like years in snowboarding because you're like, oh, I forgot about that. Especially when I watch an old video because I was so obsessed with snowboarding growing up that like even in those videos, all the gear related to it, like it kind of is like nostalgic for me in a way.
I thought you did a good job with the new alternator, watching you ride it. I think it was in Japan earlier this year. And I don't think I had seen it, like I'd seen what it was, but there was a shot of you in the air popping off a pillow. And I remember I was like, what is that graphic? What is that thing? That thing's sick. Like, and you'd say the same for like the sword or iconic ones where when it's something that fills the space and it just doesn't say the name of the company, I find myself being like, what's up with that graphic? The colors or the way it looks when somebody's in the air, that's what I'm drawn to.
Yeah, just something different. You're like, I don't know, it's fun. It's also this cool thing where it's like this thing we have in snowboarding. I think it's like it tells a story. There's no rules. I mean, you got to like sell the board, but I think there's all those. I mean, take even the Burton like Playboy graphic, like the controversy over that. Like that graphic instantly was like an amazing tool for Burton, just like from a marketing standpoint. So I don't know, it's cool. And it's like every company has these ones that I'll remember the company by, or they have like a certain artist that's doing them. Like I'd say for like right now, I've been really stoked on like Publix graphics. They look just different they're similar to like a skateboard brand, but I like how they just like at a show, they look different than the other boards where like certain things you can draw inspiration from that.
You feel like you ever kind of hit like creative brick walls, or do you at this point feel that you sort of have your like bread and butter approach in a way, like your guidelines maybe? Because the theme, I guess, and to add to that, the theme of a lot of your graphics kind of have like a similar theme to a lot of older graphics you'll see, where there's like one centerpiece item and not too much noise. And for me, that's where all my most like memorable graphics are. It's like, you know, the Terrier sword or the Unink pig or something like that. There's kind of like a centerpiece item that the board's built around. What's your approach there, or do you run into roadblocks trying to like maintain that like creative outlet?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's unfortunately tons of roadblocks every day. I'm like, I can't think of anything. And then all of a sudden you'll be like going on to something, or some certain idea will start working. Yeah, it's a struggle. I think the hard part for me is it's like my dream job. Like I get a snowboard and paint and like draw and create for a living. But I think like the curse to it is it's just like always going. I can't like turn it off. Where I actually have like a little bit of reprieve in the summer when we kind of go into just build out mode, where I can kind of stop thinking about concepts, but they're kind of always spinning. But yeah, I think unfortunately, if I had a set plan, I would just keep running that up. But unfortunately, I don't think creativity works like that, at least for me.
Yeah. I mean, coming from, you know, hearing you say that too, it's kind of sick as well, because I feel like a lot of people think that creativity is just this like innate like gift that someone has, and like, oh, you draw, you just kind of like cranked out the spark plugs snowboard, and that's just like what popped into your head on Monday, and by Thursday it was done. But in reality, I would imagine, my impression is that it's something that could A, be exhausting, but B, takes a lot of like trial and error, and I'm sure quite a bit of frustration to like come full circle time and time again.
And for sure, and I think the snowboard's tricky. It's like it's an odd shape. Like there's only so much you can do with it. Where you're like, you kind of you start out and you have those like templates of like how you do it.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
What was the Burton partnered with like Perillo? Was that the artist?
Oh, that one's sick.
Like
Bald
there's a
Face.
full line, the 5-board series.
Bald Face on the wall, they have that.
That was a cool one.
That's a really cool one. We've tried to do those in the past, and I always want to do it, but it's tricky because, like, say someone wants the certain one, it's like that's their size.
Yeah, you need like full autonomy.
And it's hard to sell it. Like, yeah, and you'd have to make all the samples for trade show.
So who's got pro model boards with Nitro? Sam's got one.
Sam's got one coming out. I did the old one, or I helped him with the old one. He like came up with a lot of the concepts.
Yeah. Who have you designed boards for?
Just been Sam. It's mostly just been, I think Jesse does the one with Marcus Cleveland, and then he does the Beast with like Torgeir and Arrow and all them. But yeah, it's been mostly Sam, just Sam. It's like I get more stoked if Sam, and I guess Jared, we've like collabed on that board since
and then
the beginning.
For the alternator, I don't know the timeline. Was that already in the line and you guys chose it, or did you guys build that from the ground up?
We built that from the ground up. Okay. Yeah, there was kind of like this gap that I saw, and I was talking to Jared, and it was kind of a board built for him for Natty Select. Like, because we were missing, I just kept seeing all them riding the Team Pro, which is a good board, but I'm like, they're riding POW, they need to have like float. So we kind of like took a freestyle aspect board and built it into the alternator. And
this is a good question from Joey Smoyoko. Griffin, which do you enjoy more, designing boards or designing the graphics on them?
Well, that's a tough one. I said both. I mean, I love designing the graphics because I'm not going to ride every board, but getting to like ride a board that you built from the ground up is probably the best feeling. Just like, and it's also nerve wracking. You're like, fuck, I hope this thing rides well because it's my fault if not.
I like that.
Shout out to, is that Joey Miyoko?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my dog.
Oh, that's your boy?
He lives in Australia and he owns a shop in Japan. If you're ever in Hakuba, hit
Nice.
that
How was
dude's
your
shop.
Japan trip earlier this year?
It was great. We had a sick crew. It was fun hanging out with Cannon and Mateo. Some young guns. They blew my mind snowboarding. And then obviously I always love hanging out with Sweeten and Lucy. We just had like super good vibes. It was pretty good crew and good times, and getting able to like ride with those young dudes is so fun, and just like being near the energy, I feel like.
Cool. Well, I think that's a good segue. We can break down some videos right now. Obviously, Board Slide Worldwide, we can kick it off with just came out with Just Another Day in the Satch Brother.
What's the context behind that title, Griffin? I was talking to Sweden about it.
I think it was last year. We on my birthday, they asked me what we wanted to do. We were here filming for Sequencer, and I wanted to split surf, so we went pow surfing, and we had an insane first run. Or I think Lucy was like, "Damn, another like 24 inches like reported overnight," and I was like, "Just another day in the Satch, brother." I don't think there was much thought to it, and then it just was a common joke.
Yeah, I think that's something to talk about is Lucy and Sweeten and wherever they go, turning out real-time edits from the winter that are video part-worthy bangers. What are our thoughts on that?
They're just a duo made in heaven. I feel like they're one just like willing to go that extra step. One, Sweeten's just super good, and then they just vibe well. And they remind me of the two basketball players.
Oh my God.
What is his name? The tallest dude in the league and the shortest dude in the league were on the same team at one point.
I was going to say Shaq. And
No, it's like Ahmet Bowl or something.
Okay.
And like Muggsy Bogues.
Muggsy Bogues.
Yeah.
And he could dunk too. And he was short
For
as hell.
sure.
Yeah, I like that. You know, everywhere they go, they just did a Mount Baker edit as well. And they beat down the Road Gap legendary session. We had back nine. Who did the back nine? Mateo.
Back nine tail.
Yep. Back rodeo, like front
Cannon,
three.
double
Cannon,
cork.
Yeah.
Huge front three on that 200.
Such a heavy session.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 200 cm board that's sweet.
Yeah, the LibTech one is amazing.
The LibTech one, God, I can't remember the name.
That
of
graphic is iconic.
That graphic's
Yeah.
so classic. But yeah, that board's huge. He was saying the like wind kind of caught him for a second. He like stalled. You can see it too. He like stalls out halfway on the board and like has to kind of muscle around the other 180. Imagine Tommying on that thing, having that like whole board whip around.
I got one gripe with these edits, though. I'm going to be honest with Lucy. I love the aesthetic. I love the video. I think the titles are great. I think visually, like is a cool aesthetic. But I feel like I'm reading fucking hieroglyphics with that thing. I can't figure out the names. I'm reading and I'm like, what does that even say? I don't know who this is. But
Not the best readability on the typeface.
Not the best, the typeface. Right. But I like the aesthetic and I like what you're doing over there. Keep it up. Let's keep moving through some clips. You guys check out Zoe's new part.
Oh,
Yellow.
Yeah. Yellow is dope.
She's one of my favorite shredders right now, for sure. The shifty front three was my favorite.
She's putting down. It's insane. Just like landing gear's not an issue. And like the snap and the pop and all of her takeoffs too, you can kind of see. And I think most folks can see it, but there's like so much confidence too. Like you can kind of tell when someone's maybe like just trying to like get the trick over with in a way, or when someone's like, fuck yeah, I'm about to do a front seven on this jump, and they like own it a little bit. She's
Good
got that going on.
fundamentals.
Yeah, solid fundies.
I like the conceptualization with the stars. It almost had like a Volcom feel to it with the studio stuff that they filmed. So
Yeah.
thought that was
I
cool.
think it was real dope. I feel like a lot of those contests, kids that come up through the contest, they get categorized as, in this day and age, maybe as more squares, you could say, compared to like other parts of course snowboarding. And it's kind of sick when you see people like, you know, yellow for Zoe, and like the art direction in that was super creative. Almost like, you remember when Christian Holler came out with glue and whatnot, and it was like this really abstract idea for a rider that I think people's perspectives of was maybe like just a half pipe guy. So I think it was a dope move on her part. Riding was insane. Vibe was dope.
Front 10, money.
Yeah, you can't miss.
Can't miss.
Yep. Okay, and then Man Boys has also been doing real-time edits coming out this season. Clip High. Great stuff from the Man Boys. If you guys haven't checked those out, they're putting out turn and burn content from the winter. You don't have to wait till fall. It's refreshing. Mm-hmm. Have you guys been watching those?
Yeah, I've been checking out a couple of those. They're funny. Very just like, I guess their version maybe of like a vlog in a way, and like it's entertaining because those guys have been doing it for so long that like nothing's that intimidating anymore. So at this point, they're all kind of like fucking around, and I'm sure that's always been the vibe. But like, it comes across in the edits, and I'm like, yeah, this is like, I don't know if this is something I would always subscribe to, but I think for a general audience that's like curious about what the fuck's going on in the Whistler backcountry, it's kind of a cool like finger on the pulse of at least what a few of those dudes are up to.
If you want to see someone put a beat down on a wedge, you call up the Man Boys.
Yeah, the Man Boys. Yeah, that's 1-800. Oh, you need a beat down on that jump? Yeah, you're gonna want to call 1-800 Man Boys.
It's like a bad day to be a wedge in Whistler when the Man Boys roll up.
God, you just hear a freaking parade of turbos whistling their way up Brandywine. You're like, oh no. It's them.
I think when you think about it, you know, there's Video Apocalypse in the fall, which it's just like no more. Like, it's you're like for me, I feel as though since we're a media company,
you see Clockwork Orange,
yeah,
right? When is that the one where his eyes are like,
they're putting drops in. He's like hypnotized.
I don't care if there's a fence.
We're now
another cab 270.
You're like, like again, like you're like, oh my god. And now my mentality is more like a Frank the Tank, like fill it up again. You know what I mean? Like I'm feeling the like I get a Man Boys edit midwinter. I'm like fill it up again. I got bandwidth for this. I got bandwidth.
Well, you
for
get to
Zoe's
go actually go snowboard right after.
Yeah, exactly. Like give me the real season. You know, I love the Mark Mick vlogs. I love the freaking Darcy Sharp. I love the Zoe parts coming out mid-season. Man Boys, Boardside Worldwide. I love it. That's my take. Keep them coming. Give it to us real time, and then it's not just a Video Apocalypse in November.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the mid-season rollout, and you can even see it too. It's like you see it in even just like your like Instagram feed if you post something. Like obviously shit's still popping off January, February, March. Like drop a movie. You know,
there is the aspect too though when something's like well curated over years, like the anticipation. I still think just to have a balance of both.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Time and place for both.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. There's a time and a place for both. There's just a lot. That's the only thing that's hard. When it was the good old, I'm doing it. I'm sorry, but it's funny.
It's funny because
somebody get this man a soapbox.
Yeah, give me a soapbox. No, we've said it. I don't need to say it again, but I will. No, it's just back when we were kids and there was like 5 videos. You're like, I just saw all the videos. I'm so excited for winter. And
I'm replaying the videos.
Yeah, I'm replaying them. I want to see them again. And that's just how things evolve. And snowboarding's evolving, and it's great. So I'm going to change gears. I think we covered some of the latest and greatest videos that came out. And I'm going to talk about an event called Bombhole Cup.
Wow.
April 6th and 7th. Griff, are you coming?
Yeah, I'm coming. I'm always there.
Just making sure. Okay. Yeah. Nils is coming. And I just want to set a scene for our listeners here. I want to set the tone. So day one's bank slalom, 2 courses, 400 racers. It's great. It's a good time. We can go back to that. But then we're going to do day 2, park showdown. We got a rail island with a 40-foot park jump, all kinds of crazy features that we're going to call Treyson Allen. Talk to him about that in a little bit. But we do Grom, and then we do Open, which is competing for product. And then we do our marquee event Sunday afternoon. It's the Pro Park Showdown. And let me set the tone for you. So we're going to start it off. Danny, our shipping guy, and Jules, our GM, are singing the national anthem. We rehearsed it in our Monday morning meeting. It was elite, okay? When you get the music going, Matty Moe's going to be hitting, he's going to be hitting fireworks sounds. It's going to be electric. Now, while the national anthem is happening, all of the pro class will be strapped in above the 40-foot park jump. And as soon as the national anthem is over, and imagine like you're standing up there, it's like you're in the playoffs, you're at the Super Bowl, you're standing on the sideline, you're getting ready to go to battle. That's these riders. They're getting ready to go to battle for the Pro Showdown. Then boom, we cut to the Chicago Bulls theme song, the most electric song ever written in sports. And we are going to cue it up, and we're going to enter riders Nils
is going to do the first mandatory 900. And when he's last
You're
year's
chill with this.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He didn't say I had to land it.
Okay,
Wait, do I
there
have
we
to
go.
land it?
He wants you to land it.
I mean, if you're a bet man, you think Nils is going to land it?
yeah.
Yeah, I would take.
I'd bet on me. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I would bet. I would bet a
Higher
large
odds on the
sum.
switchback 7 though.
I don't. You see his cab 9 in the. You see the cab 9 in the duels. That was all day.
They're there.
That train's never late, brother. Let me tell you, that train is never late.
We should go Sage, Nils, Cab 9. Who goes till go till you fall?
Wow.
A new event.
How do we set that up? How do we set that up?
It's like the kickflip challenge.
We need a rope tow, or we need something where it's
It's
not
like fast turnarounds.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I think honestly, Nils is so efficient with his, like, he'd be like, I'm going to use the least amount of energy as possible. I'm going to stay planted over my snowboard. I will not, and I'm going to.
I'll be riding a 162 today. It's easier to land on.
He's going to have his heart rate monitor, like, oh, when we're spiking, hold on, give me a second here. I got to keep my heart rate regulated.
He's measuring the lid pop.
God.
But I will say, Sage is a beast on the squat
He's
rack.
got
so
a nice Cab 9.
he's got that dog in him.
He's
too.
good with them.
He's got that dog in him.
Yeah.
So we're gonna, last year's winner, drop it in first for the mandatory 900 coming out of Stowe, Vermont, or wherever you're from, New Jersey.
Nils Mindnich. And then he comes in.
Boom. And then we're gonna send the next A-lister, and we're gonna send a bunch of A-listers, and then we open up to everybody. And it's just going to be beautiful. And then we got the limo session to end it off. So of the gauntlet, this year we got a pole jam, 15-foot pole jam over the limo.
Any fire involved or no?
No, it's a national forest.
Oh,
Griff.
yeah.
Yeah, we got regulations around that.
Nice try, Griff. National Forest.
Any
come on.
progress on being able to get a couple drones and hang like an American flag, a Brighton flag, and a bomb hole flag from them and do a little flyby of the course?
Let me tell you something. This has been an emotional roller coaster, Nils. So if anyone's unfamiliar, we talked about looking into military flyovers as a joke after the national anthem. And it turned out that a guy that we go to the gym with, shout out to Buzz, I'm going to give him an air horn. He was flew fighter jets guy and Air Force, I guess, Air Force guy. Respect. Thank you for your service. And he's had connections in the Air Force. He submitted paperwork to try to get one. Sounds like it wasn't happening. So there was a moment, and then I looked. I looked into. I called a couple helicopter guys. I feel like the helicopter's a little bit more of a medevac vibe. Like it's like
Yeah,
this.
Yeah, you're like, whoa, put the vibe.
Did
the wrong
somebody
way.
just get hurt?
Yeah.
Oh no.
So now where
We
I'm
need
at,
a barrel roll, like. Vroom.
yeah, what I think. Have you ever seen
What about like RC cars? Could you get like a
RC
fleet?
plane? RC plane. That's where my
Just
head's
as
at,
good
yeah.
as a military flyover.
Yes.
Yep.
I have a guy at my park where I walk my dog. He's got like a huge RC plane. If anybody is an RC plane guy, DM me.
Yes.
That's about where we're at right now.
Okay. All right.
I think RC plane could have a good
Yeah.
effect.
With the right sound effects too, and if it's low enough,
True.
it could have
Yeah.
the same feel as a military flyover.
Or you make it far away and then it looks like the same.
Right.
Theory of relativity,
And then you
Looks
just
like a plane.
Matty Mo will have the fighter jet drop. So
Yeah.
you're like, oh, that was military grade. We're good.
Yeah, Bomb Hole Cup. That's going to be a good one. If you're in town, don't miss it.
Yep. And then another thing to talk about too is that when Alex Pashley was on, he was mentioning, he was like, Chris, anybody that beats you needs to get a prize of some sort. So we had a meeting about it. We talked about it internally here at the Bomb Hole, and we made stickers. It says, they say, I beat Grenier at Bomb Hole Cup. So whatever class you're in, if you have a better time than me and you show someone at the Bomb Hole tent your time, we will give you a sticker that says I beat Grenier at Bomb Hole Cup. And we made a lot of them because
I don't know. How many did you make?
how many did we make, Silk?
I believe you said about 200. I have no idea, so I'm just gonna
Got a
believe
400
you.
Half the
Competitors?
pack.
Yeah.
A little cocky.
Yeah, I think I
Pretty
got
confident.
I think I got 50% of the competitors.
I will.
Is that why we introduced a beginner class?
Yes, that's the yep.
I will say that Chris and I are going to be doing some training on slope, and I am also going to be his board tech. So
Or are you having
he's
a
got
hard
s-
time
he's
getting
got s-
hold of that board though?
Yeah, I am curious about his dedication to his competitive spirit because I have yet to receive this young man's race board, which, as any racer knows, needs a lot of love before it's ready for the track. So, yeah, Chris, if you get that to me at EOD.
Well, I was fascinated because, you know, when we talked about this, I was nervous because I'm like, I'm racing this year. I don't want a grenade. I want to have a decent showing here. And, you know, I wanted to talk about setting up a strategy, a lot like Nils doing the switchback sevens for natural selection.
Yeah.
I was like, can we go practice, train? You know, how do you train for a bank slalom? And so we got a regimen here. But what about the board prep? I want to hear your technique for this.
Yeah, totally. So with our current, there's 2 routes you can go. One route is we could find one of the gurus to put some type of like special base grind in it. Nice little structure, something that would help, you know, shed the water layer when you're shredding in the springtime. But since we only got a couple weeks, I think the tactic is just going to be to wax that thing a shit ton. I'm trying to get baseline 15 coats in on that board before
15.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, so we'll start there. And then kind of the magic wizardry, especially this time of year with the wet or snow, is going to come into our overlay game. That's where you see people like pouring stuff on their board before they drop in, and they're kind of getting it all like
It's a little powder.
It's either a powder, there's some liquid forms or some paste. There's a couple different, you know, technologies available to us. So that's going to be phase 2. And phase 3, intuition. That one's up to Chris. Can't help you there, buddy.
Yeah, stay on your feet, look ahead in the corners.
Yeah, don't overthink it. Go.
Loosen
Fast,
up.
be smooth.
Yeah.
We're going to call Treyson Allen here, who is the terrain park manager up at Brighton. And he is one of the unsung heroes of snowboarding. If you've ever ridden park, all these park builders are. They put in work day and night, pulling rails, setting things up. He's going to give us a rundown on the course, both bank slalom and the park showdown setup. I'm going to call him right now. All right, we got Treyson on the line. Treyson, what can we look forward to as far as the bank slalom setup here at the Bombhole Cup, April 6th?
So the first day, we're going to have a dual bank slalom. We're going to have 2 bank slaloms. One is going to go down the similar route as we had last year. And then the other one's going to be headed down a different route. And we haven't decided which one will have a box in it. But yeah, there'll be a mandatory jib in one of them.
I love that. Nils, what do you think of that?
I just went bug-eyed.
He's switching up his game
You got
plan.
me completely off guard. I got the wrong board. Chris, we're going to have to go back to the drawing board on this one. Wax. I don't know how to wax for a box.
We going
Okay.
back lip? We talking nose press? What are we thinking?
What if you gap it? What happens? Is there someone checking?
I think that's up to Chris on that one.
It's going to be mandatory. You're going to have to hit the box. There's no going around it. Yeah.
So it goes.
What about the park setup, Treyson? What do we got as far as park features? Break that thing down for us.
So the setup's going to be like, it's going to have wall rides, creepers, drops, pole jams, classic down rail with some transfer options onto it from feature to feature. And the classic 900 jump, and a special surprise from 32 that includes a limo for the pro division.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be a heater. I love that. I love how much work you guys put in for this thing. You know, I just want to say thanks on behalf of you and all the other park builders out there that put in hours and hours of work just for people to show up and tell you that they don't like the setup. Do you ever experience people complaining, and does that piss you off? I gotta ask.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I feel like most people have an understanding of the work that goes into building and maintaining a safe and fun park, but most of our work goes unseen, like not only in the parks, but in our rail yard where we stash all our features. We have close to like 100 features, and only, you know, maybe half or a little more than half go into the park at a time. So to keep those rails up in the rail yard unburied and above snow is a task of its own. I feel like a lot of people just see us when we're lapping and patrolling the park and think that's all we get to do, but it's definitely a work hard, play hard job, and some days are more lax and some days are backbreaking.
Little tough when Brighton gets tons of snow.
Yeah, how is it on those powder days when you guys got to undig the park and everybody's flying off of cliffs?
Yeah, right. I mean, that's part of the game, you know. Like, got to keep those things exposed and marked off if there's not enough snow. And the cats can't get everything, but you know, like, it's all a team. And not to mention the cap operators, you know, that work graveyard and literally keep it rideable for the next day. So the park is being maintained at all hours of the day. So shout outs to Michael Bennett and Braden Keatsman and Matt this year. They've been killing it. Same with our day crew guys like Thomas Graham and the rest of the crew. This stuff wouldn't be possible with a solid team. And starts with Brighton's upper management, and everyone here is a team, so it's pretty sick.
All right, Treyson. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for all the hard work that goes into the park and also the Bomb Hole Cup setup that, you know, he's been sending me drawings. We've been going back and forth on the setup for maximum, I would say, progression in terms of tricks and also maximum spectator. Like we're thinking about what can people go to the end of, what's going to be a heater, what we don't want a balancing act that's going to take all day for somebody to go to the end of. So I think we got a perfect setup this year for the Park Showdown, and we're excited about it. So just want to say thanks, Treyson. Thanks for taking the call.
Yeah, hell yeah. Thanks, Chris.
All right. Have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, you too, man.
All right. We had some technical difficulties there, but we made it work.
Worked great.
Yeah, another thing with Bomb Hole Cup this year, we got a beginner class.
Oh, really?
Love that.
Yep.
What's up with the splitboard race?
Splitboard race? Are you going to do it, Griff?
I've done one splitboard race before, and I was wheezing for a while after. I might be just a spectator.
I heard that's what Bush said when he did it. The splitboard race is great because people tend to get close to the top and then somebody slips backwards and it's like a bowling ball taking out a bunch of pins, which is really fun for the spectators. This year we changed the rule, no hard booters.
That's a good rule.
There you go.
Because the hard booter won by a landslide, and
yeah,
look, we're
just
about
doesn't make
going
it fun
down,
for it.
not
Yeah.
going up.
Yeah, you got to have the soft boots.
Yeah. And then the other thing that's exciting this year is the 40-plus pro class, which I talked about with Stevie a little bit earlier, but it's one of those things where, you know, if you're an older pro and you can't compete with people like Nils and these hungry hippos, you can still see, you know, we're going to have Todd Richards out there, Jeremy Jones, Seth Hewitt, Aaron Bittner, still trying to flag. Kevin Jones is coming for this thing. So it'll be fun to watch the pros that we grew up in our generation competing, and it's going to be a good time. So there'll be an overall for them too. So they'll have best bank slalom result combined with best park showdown for an overall, which is what Nils won in the pro class last year.
Yeah. Dang, we got to try, let's hit up Dirksen, get him back in the mix then.
I tried to convince Dirksen, but I think he has an event. There's a bank slalom up by Bend. I forget what it's called.
Okay.
I got my money on Seth. The Gen.
You want to talk about getting your reps in. That guy's riding a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Luckily, Chad Otterstrom's not coming because then everybody would be
It would just make everyone look
toast.
bad. He would maybe have to get put back into the pro class.
Can we get Todd to hit a rail? That's my real question.
You're gonna have to ask him that. There's a lot riding on this for Todd.
Is there a prize purse again this year?
Yeah, we got a $10,000 prize purse. So I believe the way it's breaking down is that the overall is somewhere like we kind of disperse the cash amongst a lot of people. It's not winner take all. It's more like I think it's $2,000 or $2,500 for the overall, and then it's $1,000 for first in the park showdown, and then if you get first in the bank slalom in the pro division, you win something. I don't remember how it all shakes down, but there's $10,000 getting distributed. So people are gonna be chucking.
Respect.
Yeah, I felt like it was kind of whack. Having a 5K purse is not that legit, and I feel bad for these riders. You guys, especially the guys that compete in slope styles, and you
Get the non-pro classes some cash too. That'll amp up a bunch of those people.
Those kids are already the amateur class is
They're going crazy already.
insane.
Yeah.
Cash is king. People will chuck.
All right, we got Jill Perkins on the line. I believe she's in Canada in an undisclosed location. What's happening, Jill?
Hey guys, not much. You actually just woke me up from a nap, but it's probably for the best.
Respect, a little midday nap, a little cat nap.
Yeah, it's raining outside, so I figured I would, close my eyes.
Respect. Well, let's talk about this event you got coming up at Woodward. It's a mini pipe showdown. Half pipe is back. Sell me on this thing. Get us hyped up. I want to know about it.
It is, yeah. Really looking forward to it. We're doing a mini pipe event up at Woodward Park City on the 29th and 30th. What's really cool is on the 29th, we're going to have an open division. So for locals or anybody who really wants to participate, they have a chance to come and get invited back for Saturday where we will have the finals. 5K for both top male and female competitors, which would be awesome. We have live music presented by Skull Candy with Maddie Moe. We got some Todd Richards actually going to be there, which is a huge selling point for some, maybe not all, but some. Let's see, we have a stance is kind of putting this whole thing together along with Woodward Park City. We're having an after party at Evo in downtown in Salt Lake City, which I'm personally looking forward to. Mechanical Bull. We got food trucks. We got music. Boyfriend Sushi Town's playing. So it's kind of just like a springtime get together. No pressure. No worries.
Now, is this a run format? Like, are we taking runs or are we talking jam?
No, jam format. We're not doing the whole run thing. We're just going to hang out and watch some snowboarding. It'll be fun.
Who do you think is going to be threats at this thing? Who do we got to look out for?
Max Warbington has been consistently hitting me up about it. Definitely Reed Smith, huge contender. Forrest Bailey, if he's been talking about too. If he's coming out, I would look out for him. As far as the girls go, again, might be biased, but I think Steffi Luxton is probably spends the most time in the mini pipe, so we'll see.
Nils has a half pipe background. He's sitting here. Are you going to be around for this, Nils?
I think I should be around. Yeah, I'd love to try to get in there.
He'd be a threat.
Appearance/around.
Yeah, here's the thing. I didn't want to say Nils because I knew he was sitting there, but you know that I know that Nils has a lot of game in the mini pipe, so.
Maybe a little bit better. I need a redemption after the Bodie Merrill mini pipe invitationals. I think it was at a time that I get super psyched and I would just somehow do like the biggest air I could and explode in the flat bottom.
It's a good technique.
Hey, no mini pipe contest is set without a Todd Richards McTwist. So
yeah,
that'd be a good pre-run.
That would maybe like a forerunner to open things up.
Mm-hmm. Have him bring his Nagano bib. He's got it.
I think I thought
it's a tough subject.
Todd was practicing for the event, so we like to see that.
Mm-hmm. I was on the phone. He almost landed the McTwist.
Mm. He landed. He just put one out.
Yeah, Big Bear. It's looking good. Yeah.
Yep. And then you could also obviously have a Mikey LeBlanc ollie into the flat bottom. That could be a potential like demonstration moment.
Yeah.
How to?
Yeah, maybe we'll open it up.
A how-to front one to the bottom.
Mm-hmm. And you know who would be worth hitting up, but it wouldn't be for all the other competitors who would. It's a clear win. Chad Otterstrom.
Oh,
who are you gonna say?
Hit up Sean.
Sean White?
Fuck it. Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Kaishu. Ayumu. Now we're talking.
Oh my god. Yeah.
We got this.
Scott Stevens, sleeper half pipe rider.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Let's get
true.
Kelly Clark
That's
out there.
true.
Yeah, hit up Sean and Kelly.
Yep. Chloe Kim.
I mean,
Who
that
knows?
would be epic. I don't know. I don't know if they would attend.
Yeah.
Kelly's down.
Andy Finch. Bet he'd make an appearance.
Finch Airlines.
Heike
Hey, look,
Sorsa.
all are welcome. I think that's another big takeaway here. All are welcome. So,
Who's judging this thing? I need
Get-
to know
get
who
out
to,
there.
and I need to know who to cater my tricks to. Who's judging?
oh man, I will be judging, and we'll probably just have some random people judging. I don't. We're really running a loose operation. It's funny because a lot of the judges I hit up, they just decided that now they want to compete, so which is great. I want to see them compete. So I'm sure Scott Blum will have something to say.
Another sleeper.
He'll have a strong showing.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, Jill. Well, thanks so much for taking a couple minutes to chat with us. We're excited for this event. When is it?
March 29th and 30th. So Woodward Park City. Yeah.
All right, we'll be there. We'll be there and we'll be chucking.
Thank you guys.
Are you going to go back to sleep or are you up for the rest of the day now?
I think I'm up now. It's time. So I appreciate it.
All right,
I'm sleeping. You know, they like sell us on this like sleepy cottage on the water Airbnb, but that they don't tell you that they're like pumping the barge right outside the window, so you don't really sleep at night. It's just like a constant going on. So
yeah, are you in Nelson?
I could be in Nelson.
You might be on the other side of the coast.
Got it.
Yeah, no, I'm not in Nelson, but that sounds sick too.
I would suggest earplugs. I've been sleeping with earplugs lately. I've been going earplugs on the plane. Earplugs at the Airbnb.
I'd suggest some Skull Candy Crusher ANCs, actually.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
That should do the trick.
Yep.
I actually was going to say that, Chris. I've never slept better on a plane. I literally will just put those on and play no music, and I hear nothing but my thoughts, which...
It's a beautiful
place.
place.
I don't know, depending on the day is okay.
All right, Jill, we're going to keep moving on the
have
show.
fun.
Thanks so much for chatting with us. We appreciate you.
Yeah, talk soon, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Later. All right, so we got Jill's event. We got Homesick April 22nd and 24th. This is coming weekend at Stratton, Vermont. You're not going to want to miss that on the East, or miss Last Call, the 25th, the Monday. It's a Monday event at Loon. And then Johnny O'Connor's Mash and Bash happened at Wyndham. Joey B, how you doing, was there. That was great. And then we have 4-3-day, Ken Block Day up at Woodward Park City, day to honor Ken Block. We're going to be helping host a little rail jam. It's really just a day to honor Ken up there. And then there's a kind of a private dinner after to raise money for the 43i Foundation. So that's going to be really fun. There's tons of information on Woodward's website for that. So don't miss that on 4-3 if you are in the area. And now let's get into some product talk. One thing I thought would be interesting is talking about split boards, because we haven't talked about them a lot. You guys are aficionados. What bindings do you use?
Spark R&D.
Do you swear by them?
I swear by them. They're just simple. They work great, and they don't break. Or if they do break, they're really easy to fix.
Do you put like stomp pads in the base plates?
I tried that
tweak
once.
them up?
It would always give me like foot cramps and the snow would stick. I just go raw dog metal on the bottom.
Yeah, same here. Spark R&D as well. Can't go wrong. Never had a problem.
Yeah, the only ones I've ever ridden are the Unions, and I love them. They've actually gotten progressively better throughout. Like the first round of Unions was kind of on budget, but now they've dialed them in. And I've been told, but I don't have anything else to base them on, that they're the best for going down. They've got good feel, so I recommend those. But what else do you do to set up your split board? What do you recommend to a consumer that's going to buy a split board? Because it's an expensive purchase.
It is. I mean, obviously first the Avi class. And as Nils say, the skills to actually enjoy the snow and the powder. I would say just finding a board. I would get it a little bit bigger than you think, because you're for the most part going to ride POW, hopefully. And you also want it not too big though, because you do end up going out like funky spots where tight trees and weird gullies. So just having a board that's not like riding you, but big enough to float.
Mm-hmm. I made a mistake this year with my split board where I didn't set it up far back enough to where I was riding POW, and my POW board like almost floated better because I set it up too centered.
Yeah.
Like I feel like because it's a pain in the ass once you mount your bindings.
Yeah, one and done.
So I would say another thing would be, from my learning experience, take your time and really pick your binding placement, because you're locked in once you get them there.
Big time.
Once you get it dialed, you don't have to do anything. Just thing will last forever. Yeah, setting up a split board is, not going to lie, a pain in the ass.
Which Nitro split board do you ride?
I ride the Doppelganger.
Nice. And is it good? Do you feel good about it?
I feel very good. Light, gets the job done.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about you, Nils?
I'm on a Solomon High Path 159 split. It's awesome. I had a Solomon 6-stick before that for a couple iterations, and the High Path's dope. It's a little more directional. Can go a little faster on it. Pretty light too. I like it.
Cool. Yeah, I've ridden the Solomon ones. They make good ones.
Yeah.
I'm on the Mega Merc split. It's really good. Now, I got to ask too, some people I've heard of funky stuff where people detune their middle edges. Have you ever heard of that?
I have not. I want those things sharp.
I feel like I would want that like as sharp as possible.
Yeah, skin up.
But when you guys ever struggle like on hard pack where it doesn't ride quite as similar to a solid?
There's so many things going on if you get one of those things on hard pack that the inside edge is like the last thing on my mind.
All right. It's going to feel like shit on hard pack.
Okay.
Anyways.
Yeah, it's designed for POW. Just set some boundaries. Do your best not to expect much on hard pack.
Okay.
My little tip is if you set the pucks kind of once you finish setting them up, shift it a little so then it like pulls the board tight. So like opposition, as you would say on the
climbing term.
Yeah, so move them just a hair each way. So then when you put the puck on, it'll pull the board tighter together.
Good beta.
What about what gloves you run when you split board? Because you got to do the switch over.
I used to run like the thin gloves and then my hands get cold. I just go like Gore-Tex leather normal gloves and I just run them all day. Unless it's really brick out, I toss the warm mittens on.
Yeah. Maybe a good indicator is that if you're wearing mittens, it's maybe not your time to be splitboarding yet.
Okay.
If you're getting to that point and you're wearing mittens, you're like, this might not be the sport. You just use your hands so much. There's the poles, there's clasps on the poles. You're messing with your bindings. You got skins you're putting on and off. It's
a good pair of gloves is a good investment.
Yeah.
What size? Now let's talk packs because you could get a huge big dog pack and bring everything you need on planet Earth, or you can go small Avi pack, or some people just put their skins in their damn pockets. And what's your take?
I go pretty slim on the pack. I go as slim as I can. I always bring a couple snacks. I mean, it depends on the day, but like pretty much no matter what, I have some form of a first aid kit. That's like the priority with your beacon shovel probe. And then after that, like maybe a 1 or 2 layers. I really don't bring much. I have a 18-liter Nirvana, I think is the model, made by Mammut. And I've had that for 2 years now, and it's my favorite bag I've ever had. Yeah, it gets a little tight on full days, but haven't had to like ditch it yet.
I go hog.
Go fully ready for anything.
Those Hyperlight bags are cool because it basically rolls up really small if I want to have like a light, quick day. But then I've also just been on trips where you need like your crampons and your eye sacks. And next thing you know, your bag's like blowing at the seams and you can't grab your Cliff Bar. So I've found it's better to just like have the bag that's super light. Hyperlight makes like a touring backpack that tons of like skiers developed, but basically you can just load everything in there. I keep it in, it's like nothing is in there. There's a beacon shovel probe pocket, but the rest is just blank and you have little bags, and I load it up with like everything's organized in little bags, and then I can just pull it out and then it easily fits. I could go like snow camping with it if I wanted, all the way rolled up.
So if you're going on a short, quick jam up Flagstaff, you just put nothing in it and it feels
and
like
just
nothing.
roll it down. Yeah, and it
rolls.
feels like lighter than a little bag.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
The bags are dope.
I'm
I've seen him rocking them, and there's a couple other. I think is Russell on them too.
Russell, Neil Provo, they're the first people I saw wearing them.
Yeah, they're sick bags.
I've been on the hunt for the bag. I like that.
Hyperlight.
Try a Hyperlight.
Yeah,
I bet
they're
they're dope.
nice.
Also, the bag within the bag is maybe like a good takeaway there. That's something that I have been leaning into more over the years, is just having like not a single item in the main part of my backpack is actually on its own, I guess, except for gloves and goggles. But I have a whole baggie with snacks, a whole baggie with first aid, a whole baggie with, I don't know, Volley straps and ibuprofen and like butt wipes.
Mountain money. I'm a space case. I have like a designated pair of sunglasses that don't leave my backpack because I'll forget them. Then you're like fucking getting blinded. And sunscreen, random stuff that I just like lives in the bag. And then I just grab it and I know I got it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that. I've only been out once this year splitting, unfortunately, but I think for anybody thinking about getting into it, the interesting thing is you're like, damn, I only did one run today and I fucking hiked up for 45 minutes. But the thing is the banter is through the roof. If you want to go, you know what I would recommend if you're getting into splitboarding, bring your banter specialist buddies and embrace the climb. That's the key.
Maybe there's something to it here too, between sledding and splitboarding. Like you hang out with a Griff at the end of the day and they're like super chill and casual, and then you hang out with like, your Pashleys and your Curtises, and there's just so much banter off hill. It's because they can't get it out of their system when they're sledding. Those things are so loud.
Pent up.
There's too much going on. You can't work it out in the field, and then it just, it gets unleashed in the booth. But splitboarding, you work it out on the trail and you get off and everybody's having a good time.
Little trail talk.
Yeah. Trail talk. Yeah, it should be a new boot pack.
There we
just
go.
Heavy breathing.
ASMR. Field reporter.
Editing out tons of rough sounds. The wind too could be a good factor.
Not editing any of that.
All right, guys. Well, I think it's been a good show. Quick one. We just ran through a whole bunch of stuff. thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Chris.
Good to have you back in the booth.
It's
Griff.
good to be in the booth, not in the garage, even though you're going back to the garage.
We are going back to the garage. That's for a later show.
Okay.
We'll disclose that. Nils,
Yeah.
thanks for coming on.
Grandies, thank you. Always a pleasure. Way to freaking lead the charge on this one. Silk, thank you.
Yep, it's
Crushing
been a
it.
pleasure. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Always
Silk.
big shout out to Silk.
And also, lastly, I can't say thank you enough to our Patreon members that support what we do so we can be dipshits and talk about snowboarding. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. All of our sponsors that allow us to do this, thank you so much. All of the listeners that just tune in, leave a comment, subscribe. All you guys that do that, I thank you guys so much. And we really appreciate this community. We love snowboarding. And we got another episode coming at you guys next Wednesday. Have a great week, everybody.
Adios.